Very good morning and welcome to all of you wherever you may be listening. It's the start of play, or we're 5 minutes away from the start of play on the fourth and what will be the final day of the fourth test match between India and England at the Jharkhand State Cricket Association Stadium in Ranchi. Everybody expects England to go 3-1 down, to concede the test match and to concede the series. When I say everybody, I say the majority of people. Yet, when England enjoyed a first innings lead of 134 runs at the start of play yesterday, there were a lot of assumptions made then, and I have a feeling that there are a lot of assumptions being made today, with India 40 without loss, making a flying start in pursuit of just 192 for victory. Early wickets might just change the whole scenario, but England are certainly under pressure, and India are favourites going into the fourth day. As I said, it will be the final day. There is no adverse weather around. Zak Crawley was the top scorer in an otherwise disappointing second innings for England yesterday. He made 60, and before we get underway, let's hear from Zak Crawley. He was speaking to our man on the ground, Cameron Ponsonby.
150 runs to play with. How confident are England of taking 10 wickets this morning?
Yeah, we're confident. We know we're well in this game. The pitch is only going to get worse, and the boys are really up for it. We're really excited about this opportunity.
What do you think England's kind of route to victory is? We've obviously seen a very spin-heavy last 24, 48 hours. With the morning conditions, might we be seeing some more seam today?
I think the spin's going to play the main role. We'll definitely see a little bit of seam, but I think the spin's going to play the main role. It's started to spin a bit more yesterday than did the first 2 days. And the spinners kind of get that shooter a little bit more than the seamers do. So yeah, I think a bit more spin.
Yesterday was obviously a difficult day for England. What's the mood been like coming into the match this morning?
Mood's great. You know, we're really excited about today. It's an unbelievable opportunity for us to win and have a test match in India. We don't worry about things like that, like what's gone in the past. We're just excited about it right now, and we got a chance to win. You
obviously batted very well yourself. When you were coming off yesterday, what did you think would be a good target to leave India?
I thought anything around 200 would be a really difficult chase, and you know that's what we got. We got 190. So you know, I feel like on this pitch it's really hard to start. You could, you know, it felt like at times, you know, it was quite comfortable out there when you were in, but then once you started, you felt like you could lose a few wickets quickly, like, you know, 3 wickets in 2 overs sort of thing. So we're never out of this game, and yeah, that's what I feel.
What is it like facing Ashwin, Kuldeep and Jadeja kind of at their best in their own conditions? How challenging is it?
Yeah, it's a great challenge. I've loved it, to be honest. Like testing yourself against, you know, some of the best spinners in the world. You know, they all bring different challenges. Actually, you've got to be adaptable, and yeah, it's great. It's great to learn on the job.
You're at the other end for Joe Root's LBW. It's attracted a bit of conversation. What were your own thoughts on it?
At the time, I thought it might have been sliding. I thought it turned more than it did on the DRS showed. But you know, it's hard to see from my end, and you know, it's not up to me to make those decisions. So you know, it is what it is.
And just finally, there's been a lot of people wondering whether Ben Stokes might bowl in this Test match. Ben Stokes 5 for to win it for England. Is it written in the stars?
If it looks like the seamers are coming into it, then I'll be very surprised if he doesn't bowl. Yeah, so we'll see.
It's an interesting thought. Ben Stokes coming into the attack for the first time in the series. But as I said, a lot of assumptions are being made. India weren't challenged at all yesterday. They got off to a flying start, mostly because England bowled extremely poorly. I think it was their worst spell with the ball throughout the series. And it wasn't deliberate. It wasn't a flawed strategy. They were just bowling a lot of full tosses and not taking the pitch out of the equation. And if they get it right, and perhaps Jimmy Anderson opens up and nips out an early wicket or two, suddenly the whole atmosphere could feel very, very different. Good morning to Steve Harmison. England just, if they bowl better and take a couple of early wickets, suddenly what looks like a modest target now might not feel so modest.
Yeah, good morning, Manners. Good morning to everybody listening at home. It's still 150. It's still a lot of runs. England lost 10 wickets for 145. Yes, Jadeja and Ashwin bowled superbly well, but there's still a lot of cricket left in this game. I still think England are well in the game. They had a bad half hour. They really did. The lines, talk about lines, but they're lengths. No matter what line you bowl, if it doesn't pitch. So you know, these are the things that sometimes comes with youth and sometimes comes with naivety. Ben Stokes is, giving them the rallying call last night. Come on, let's go and take a couple of wickets, put a hole in this, Indian batting unit. And unfortunately, excitement, however you want to call it, it just didn't work for them last night. I was very, very surprised. The only thing I was surprised at was the Anderson call. You start with Anderson, you start with your best bowler. Rohit Sharma said yesterday, we can't afford to give runs away. When this wicket, we are so far behind. This wicket doesn't allow us to give cheap runs away. So he didn't go with the two seamers that he picked for the new ball. He's gone with his best two bowlers and said, right, get me a wicket, make me a hole in this game and keep us in this game. And that's what Ashwin and Jadeja and then Kuldeep did. So I was very surprised that Anderson didn't take the new ball last night. Does he look as though he's coming out here with a spring in his step to take the new ball? I don't think he does, to be honest. I'm looking at him on the screen. So England have just got to bowl better. But for anybody that's waking up this morning thinking, all right, this is just a foregone conclusion. Jaiswal's going to come in and slug a few. Rohit Sharma's going to come in and just play the way he does. If England can get 2 early wickets, there's a vulnerability in this middle order. And for me, England are still massively in the game. And I say he didn't look as though he had a spring in his step, and he didn't look as though he was coming on to bowl. He took his hat off, Jimmy Anderson, and he's probably going to take the first over, man.
He is. 5 or 6 years ago, people laughed at me when I said that I thought Joe Root could become a genuine spinning option. And I think it was the fact that he was already then one of England's best ever batsmen. And he has progressed, and I'm delighted to say that he has been a genuine spin option. But I just couldn't get my head around him taking the new ball, defending 192. I mean, he's not that level of spinner.
No, especially when if you're thinking, right, we're going to have an off spinner. The level of thinking was right. We're going to have an off spinner against Jaiswal. He's the danger. If we get Jaiswal out early, then that 190 is a long, long way away. But you just had a young lad take 5 for 119. It's his first 5 for in first class cricket, never mind in test match cricket. The thought would have been to throw it to young Bashir if you were wanting to go down that route. A couple of times Joe Root has taken the new ball, and in this series, when we were out in Hyderabad and then in Vizag, he took the new ball, but he seemed to struggle with the brand new, the newness of the ball. It wasn't until his second over, his third over, and then his fourth over did he really sort of hit his straps with his lines and his lengths. And there's R. Ashwin gave a brilliant interview last night, an unbelievable interview to the TV. Ravi Shastri, Nick Knight and Sunil Gavaskar, and he talked about just the art of bowling off spin in this part of the world. And he is a master of bowling with the new ball. He loves bowling with the new ball. So I think you've got to accept that lacquer on the ball does take an effect with whoever's bowling it.
It is Jimmy Anderson then with the very first over, the first ball, and it's pushed away up by Rohit Sharma. Didn't get into a great defensive position there, Rohit Sharma. It didn't hurry him by any means, and he just allowed the ball to hit the bat and deflect away to mid-on. So the first ball of day 4, the fourth and final day. All 4 test matches will finish on the 4th day, which is certainly an improvement from a commercial point of view compared to the last time England were in India during the first hard lockdown. Here's Anderson. A little bit of movement back into Rohit Sharma there. He plays it away defensively again once more. And there's no run. Is that just a conventional in-swinger?
Yeah, conventional in-swinger. A bit of nip off the surface. I think it was the seam more than anything else. This is what Jimmy Anderson gives you. That's why I would have gone with the new ball to him, because he can move the ball. While it's new, he can move the ball sideways. And then the unevenness and the natural variation of what happens off the surface makes it doubly hard.
Here is Jimmy Anderson then, hoping for a little bit of movement off the cracks. And this is once more testing, probing Rohit Sharma outside the off stump. Pushes it away again, and there's no run. From a batting point of view, when conditions are like this, you can't, I mean, unless there's a huge, vast crater that opens up, you've just got to ignore it. You've just got to expect every ball's going to behave normally.
Exactly. That's the level of your ability at this level has been able to see the ball and judge the length very, very quickly and move accordingly.
Anderson again. That was a genuine in-swinger right, on this occasion. Rohit comes forward, and it definitely swung. It wasn't so much movement off the seam. Again, pushes it away defensively on the offside, and there's no run.
And this is what Anderson does with Rohit. He's looking to get him playing with as many balls as he possibly can, testing that technique of bat in between pad, making sure they're close together, trying to get the ball to come through the gig. Rohit Sharma, like a lot of modern day batters, is vulnerable and susceptible to the ball coming back onto off stump.
Here's Anderson then, 5th ball of the morning, and Rohit there drives at this one. Firm push maybe, rather than a full-blooded drive. Hits the inside half of the bat, and rather than going to mid-off, is collected at mid-wicket.
It was nothing more sure this morning than Anderson was going to take the first over and bowl a maiden, wasn't he? And this is why we were saying, this is why I was so vocal last night, is yes, you know, the turning ball, the spinning ball, the ball which is hitting the cracks and keeping low from a spinner's point of view is probably the most dangerous on this surface. But if you've got a bowler who is going nowhere at the other end, it's doubly hard.
Anderson into Rohit, and he does complete the maiden over. First one of the morning. He remains 24 not out. Yashasvi Jaiswal has 16. India are 40 without loss.
Anderson and Stokes have just come together there, and Stokes has just gone over towards Anderson. Anderson took his cap and walked past him. And I wonder if Jimmy, because Jimmy would say this, I know Jimmy would say this, I'd have done that last night for you. So I just wonder if there was any sort of comments towards the captain as to say, that was probably 8 overs too late when I bowled my first over in this contest.
Who bowls the second?
I think the off spinner, you know, whether it was Root or it was Bashir. For me, the big wicket in this, I know Rohit's got 24. He's faced more balls he's faced 11, 12 more balls than Jaiswal. But for me, even though Rohit Sharma is great batter, I think Jaiswal's the wicket. If you can get Jaiswal on the first 2 or 3 overs, I think that because of the form he's in and the amount of runs he's scored in this competition, this series so far.
It is Shoaib Bashir then to Jaiswal, who's on the back foot, punching to cover, fielded by Stokes. More mid-off actually, wideish mid-off. No, there's a long off, so he is at extra cover. Slipping a short leg in, Bashir between the umpire and stumps to the left-handed Jaiswal. Watches it off the pitch, pushes it away, no run.
I expect there to be a lot of cover out on the boundary. If I was Ben Stokes, I'd make them work hard for every run possible. The likelihood is the mode of dismissal would be ball keeping low, LBW, bowled, you know, whether you try and get a thin edge.
Forward comes Jaiswal to the next one from Bashir, spins off the face of the bat to backward point. And the first run of the morning. India underway, 41 without loss.
So if you've got one that spits, you've got short leg in place, so you catch out on either side, you've got slip for the one that goes, you know, if it bounces and slides on. You know, Ashwin had a few of them that just slid on, and you got them LBW because you bowled straight, and then you've got bowled and LBW in play. That's probably the highest percentage of mode of dismissals. And then I'd make sure that there's fielders on the boundary, that there's no boundary options. They're only getting singles, and they have to make it sure that it's very difficult to get these 151 runs.
Bashir over the wicket to the right-handed Rohit, who turns it with the spin. There was significant spin down towards the boundary. Jimmy Anderson in pursuit. What a brilliant diving stop. Anderson lunging towards the boundary, diving and scooping it back with his left hand, and he saved a run there. It looked like it was going to be 4. Joe Root accompanied him down there and picked up Jimmy Anderson's scoop back, flick back. That was wonderful work from 41-year-old Jimmy Anderson, and who knows, that run saved, could that be the difference? So a very, very fine diving effort. India move up to 44 without loss. The important thing to understand, Harmy, for people who think that England having boundary fielders is a negative thing, is it doesn't work like that with spin bowling, does it, all the time? That's punched off the back foot down towards long off, and ducket fields, they go through for a run. If you have a man on the boundary, you're offering the batsman a single and persuading him perhaps to try and hit the ball in that area, but then if he makes a mistake, that's why you've got the close men.
Yeah, you're going for the push, and you know that's ideally what you want him to do, trying to get him to push it out to deep point and leave a gap between bat and pad.
Catch!
Down the wicket comes Rohit now. Yell of catch it, even though he's played it defensively straight down into the ground. But I think the cry of catch it came as a result of him using his feet and coming down the pitch, rather than the way the ball reacted off the bat. Gone straight to ground. 45 without loss, India.
You've also got to remember as well, in this situation, there's going to be tough to bat on. If there is, the odd one keeps low, then the odd one spits like that, and bowler bowls nicely. The release shot is you come down a wicket and hit the big shot. The slog sweep, the more aggressive route, and thinking, right, I'm dying in a hole here. We did that in the first innings. We can't have that. And even now, batters don't see fielders on the boundary when they're going for the big shot. They just think, I'm going to hit it 10 rows back. And I think having them fielders and the protection out there is a good comfort blanket for young Bashir or Hartley when he comes on route to just throw it above the eye line every now and again and tempt the batter to play. For me, this is the contest. Anderson against Jaiswal. The ball's moving. He's got the ball moving laterally, Anderson. He's got the ball moving into the right-hander, which is aware, obviously, from the left-hander. He's got a slip in place.
One slip, yeah, that's it. Jimmy Anderson to Jaiswal. He's in at the pads, a little bit too straight. Tucked away off those pads down to Bashir at fine leg. Running around to long leg. They do go through for a single. It's an evocative phrase that you use there, dying in a hole. But just to put some numbers to it, England scored 25 runs from their last 20 overs yesterday, and it was the last 4 wickets. So we're not saying that they should have been scoring at 4 and over, but a more intent, I think, might have been more productive. That's a big full in swinger to Rohit Sharma from Jimmy Anderson, and he pushes it up to mid on.
Yeah, more intent is definitely the word. It was just watched a replay. I didn't see this last night. I've just seen it for the first time. Rohit Sharma, hilarious towards Jaiswal. Second last ball of the night last night of Joe Root. Jaiswal's played the big shot down the ground, didn't quite get it. And Rohit Sharma's berating him from the non-striker's end and telling him to get his head down. And last ball, there's one ball left, get your head down. He blocks it and then gives him the big clap and a big arm round the shoulder as the experience to the youth walks off.
Jimmy Anderson in, pushed defensively by Rohit straight back to the bowler. I did see it yesterday, but it looks a lot more animated second time around.
It does, yeah. And it's a lot more, I think, a lot more poignant that the experience plays into the young, very, very good form, a little bit naive. Look, the last thing we need is to give an easy wicket away. Don't give England any sort of sniff and any sort of chance of building and taking momentum into this morning.
Here's Jimmy Anderson, and Rohit's gone high and long and wide over deep mid-wicket, and he's smashed him for 6. It was a half volley. Jimmy Anderson is going full. He's looking to swing it into Rohit's pads, but the swinging on this occasion has come from the batsman.
Yeah, fantastic shot from Rohit Sharma, and just like what we were saying there before, man, as if a batter starts to feels as though he's getting bogged down and under pressure, has he got the big shot in him? And that's why the boundary fielders are there, but these batters don't see it. Jimmy Anderson's bowled 9 balls spot on in the good area, asking questions of the technique of the batter, and this time it's not a half volley by any stretch, and he's gone into IPL mode as Rohit Sharma and belted him for 6.
It's brought up the 50 for India, 52 for none. 12 runs this morning as Anderson goes just a little bit shorter, and Rohit can't be swinging that one into the stands, just pushes it defensively out on the offside. There was a very acquiescent look on Ben Stokes' face when that Rohit played that shot. It was he just turned his head to one side and raised his eyebrows as if to say, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Good shot. And it was 79 metres gone into the stand on the leg side. I don't think Ben Stokes will mind that too much. I don't think Jimmy Anderson will mind that too much.
Here's Anderson once again. Seemed a bit quicker there. Back of a length outside the off stump. Tried to force it away. Looked a bit hurried. 11 overs gone. India 52 without loss. Good morning to Jared Kimber, who berated me yesterday for not not being honest enough about the 8 overs that England bowled yesterday.
Berated. Did I berate you?
Well, you did off air. You just gave me a scowl on air. But do you know what? And I thought about it this morning. So the alarm went off at 3 o'clock. And if a team gets the strategy or the tactics wrong, or they're making an obvious error, then I think I am capable of being firmer in my descriptions. But yesterday they were just, I mean, they didn't walk out there going, right, we'll get them with full tosses.
I feel like I shook you a little bit.
You made me question. That's a good thing. We should all question each other and ourselves. Oh, big appeal for leg before wicket. Shoaib Bashir in. Sweep shot from Jaiswal. And it's Bashir now who's saying that's a bit too high.
I think I would review that, by the way. I'm not sure what they're holding the review for. That had to be in line.
I thought that was quite close. I'd like to see that again. I thought it was just dismissed, and that's not like England, especially when you're chasing a game.
But Bashir was saying it was too high.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
I don't understand that at all. Certainly didn't look too high. This one turns sharply away from Jaiswal, but he plays it off the pitch.
I don't think England got so much tactics wrong yesterday. They just didn't bowl very well. I think is that fair to say, Jared? I don't think, as much as I would like Anderson to bowl at one end and a spinner to bowl at the other.
Bashir in. Jaiswal hits the outside half of the bat, deflects away past slip. Jimmy Anderson once again has to do the chasing down towards the boundary. He does scoop it back, but as he slides over the boundary rope or the boundary triangles, the ball follows him. He got a hand to it, but he just couldn't flick it back, and it's 4 more.
Yeah, all important runs here. Anderson's really frustrated, kicks the Toblerone down, has a word to Mark Wood as well. Just a couple of boundaries past him already this morning, but one from each bat. The other one wasn't a boundary he saved, but a couple that he's had to chase. So he's had to bowl and also
full-on sprints down to the boundary, weren't they? He wasn't accompanying the ball. He was at absolutely full pace
and dive, and he got the ball. He just went back. You're saying the plans weren't wrong yesterday?
No, I was saying we're berating England's tactics.
No.
Bashir in. Jaiswal defends. 56 for none.
I have no problem with them bowling Joe Root because he skids the ball on, and that makes sense. And Tom Hartley, we've seen he's taken the new ball for them quite a few times. But they bowled half volleys and full tosses.
They just bowled badly.
I mean, Joe Root just looked stiff, like he shouldn't be bowling.
Final ball of the 12th over. Bashir in. Jaiswal comes forward again and plays defensively. He's 23. Rohit is 33. India needing 192 or 56 without loss.
And also, they didn't make a change quick enough, right? Once it wasn't working, you have to make a change. And, it goes both ways, this whole, we're going to back a player as much as possible and, we're going to keep throwing them the ball. Oh, okay, but when you've got 180 that you're defending and a bloke keeps bowling half volleys and full tosses, I don't think it's bad to go, mate, ball's not coming out great. Give me 5 minutes. Let's just throw the ball to Bashir here and let's bring Jimmy back on and see what happens. So I don't think they're in this position because they didn't give Jimmy the ball. Although maybe tactically you could argue they should have. I had no problem with them using 2 spinners because India used 2 spinners, and I understood why it suited this wicket. But they bowled horrendously and they kept them on.
Jimmy Anderson in, another in swinger. Just waiting for the away swinger. We haven't seen it yet. Rohit pushes that away defensively.
Yeah, that's spot on. My thing with Jimmy Anderson is, after 8 overs, India would have been 20 as opposed to 40, and that's the only thing from an Anderson point of view. There's a fine line between backing somebody and stubbornness, and I think we've seen that a couple of times in this series. There was no problem with the spin bowlers bowling. They just bowled. Well, they didn't. I was going to say something else there. They just didn't bowl very well.
Jimmy Anderson in. That's short, and the pull shot attempt.
Oh my God!
Oh my gosh! There's a problem here. There's a mix-up. Rohit Sharma didn't set off for the run. Jaiswal was completely committed to it. Jaiswal was halfway down before Rohit even set off, but then there was just again some confusion between Ollie Pope at short leg and who else was it? Ben Folkes was ripped the gloves off, and he eventually picked it up and had a shy at the stumps, but in the end the run was completed comfortably, but it was an uncomfortable moment. Jaiswal totally committed to the run. Rohit hadn't moved.
Yep, Rohit hadn't moved, and I think he might have gone on a fleshy part. That's why he don't move. I just wondering, honestly, I was going to say at the end of the last ball of Anderson's over, the way these contests go, and I wonder if Jimmy tries to pick a fight with Rohit Sharma.
Flicked away nicely by Jaiswal as Anderson goes full once again. He's desperately seeking as much swing as he can possibly get, Jimmy Anderson. That's why he's been driven. I think there is a bit of a spat going on.
I just wondered if Jimmy now see Rohit's come out and he looks as though his eyes are steel determination. I'm going to get this for my team. I'm captain. I'm going to make sure I get this for my team. Hit him for a big 6. Jimmy sometimes goes the other way and goes, right, let's see if we can get into a contest, and 9 times out of 10 he picks a fight with somebody and let's see who wins.
The moment India are on top, 58 without loss, and Anderson goes back of a length. First time to, or the second time to Rohit there, and is steered away down to third. There's third on the boundary. India 59 for none.
To be fair, a minute ago, Anderson looked like he was fighting with Mark Wood and the Toblerone as well. So it could just be anyone near him that he's upset with. But just to finish off on the tactics thing of using Anderson, Ben Stokes will make 3 different fielding changes within an over. So he'll go, we're going to go short balls. No, we're going to bowl wide outside our stump. No, we're going to go back of a line. All these different things he will try in an over, and he'll shuffle everyone around and come up with completely new tactics. But he does sometimes just keep the bowler on when they're not bowling very well. And sometimes you have to do the opposite, right? And you have to say, no, it's fine. It's not coming out your hand. Let's wait for the lacquer to come off and you come back on in 2 minutes.
Jimmy Anderson around the wicket to Jaiswal, who tucked it away nicely off his pads down towards fine leg. Bashir fields 59 without loss.
Because there's been times when Jaiswal's gone after Anderson in this series, and maybe he does it with a new ball last night. Maybe he goes, okay, if I get a couple of boundaries away, Anderson's in trouble as well. You could have done the exact same thing with Anderson. He might have bowled the wrong length, or it's less likely, but he might have bowled too full, or whatever that may be. And I just felt that they just gave away a really, really good opportunity, which they didn't need to do.
Anderson in to Rohit once again. He plays a long way from the body here, just guiding it down to the third boundary once again, and takes a single, keeps a strike. Jimmy Anderson has another little scowl and the mutter at Rohit, who steadfastly ignores him. India are 61 without loss, requiring 192 for victory for the test match and to win the series. More from Steve Harmison, and it'll be Andrew McKenna.
It's a nice little battle. As Anderson he's not giving up on Rohit, but he's decided to take them both on now. So there's a word in with, and he's been here before. He knows exactly what he's doing. Is Anderson trying to unsettle the batter from a word point of view, get the concentration on the batter against the bowler, and then hopefully take an eye off what they're trying to do, and pitch which has got a bit of inconsistency in. And try and get a breakthrough that way. But it's been a decent start from England this morning, but it's also been a good start, I think, from India, who are going about their business very nicely, very slowly.
Come on then, let's get amongst them. Bashir is in, right arm over. Rohit turns around the corner to Ollie Pope at short leg, no run.
I think England have started okay. Bashir's hit his length quite well. Anderson's been hit for that one big 6. But Rohit and Jaiswal have run the ball round. And there's not been as much demon in it.
Bashir is in once again, right arm over. Rohit coming forward, playing back to the bowler, no run.
So it's been quite even this morning, and England needed to start well. Needed a wicket early. They haven't getting that, so it's now about just trying to sit in and make sure that when hopefully the mistake can come through pressure.
Bashir is in, it's a little bit wider. Rohit uses his feet to get to it on the half volley, turns it to Stokes at short mid-wicket, no run. Slip in place, short leg. Stokes is relatively close for the clip off the toes towards mid-wicket. Short third, mid-off. Deep cover out on the boundary on the leg side. Bashir is in. A little bit straighter this one from Bashir. Turn to Pope at short leg by Rohit, no run. India need 131 more. It's TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. India 61 without loss. India need 131, England need 10 wickets. Bashir on his way in, right arm over. Rohit swings him into the leg side. One bounce for 4 through square leg. Rohit goes to 40. India's 65 without loss.
That's a good shot. That's a good shot. Bashir's walking away, shaking his head, and he's berating himself, slapping his leg. That is a good shot. That's a fantastic shot from Rohit Sharma. He's got a little bit of room outside off stump. You know, the wicket's up and down. He knows there's not a fielder out there in the deep. He's picked it up, purposely trying to hit it behind square. You know, that's an excellent shot by the Indian captain.
He's played a couple of good ones this morning. That 6 of a long on off Anderson was spectacular. Bashir goes in again. Rohit just clips to deep long on, and there'll be a single taken. He'll go to 41. India need 126 more. Of course, this is a stadium where a certain MS Dhoni made his name, and Dhoni himself would have enjoyed that 6 off Rohit. Although we've not seen him, but that's not necessarily a surprise, because Chetan Narula was telling us earlier on in the tour that Dhoni, basically, you can't find him with a radar at the moment. He was invited to the quarter-finals, semi-finals and final of the Cricket World Cup by the BCCI, and he didn't rock up for any of them. So he's not a man who is, shall we say, conspicuous by his presence.
Oh, I don't blame him. If you don't have to come, then there's no point. He's going to have so much attention during the IPL, so what's the point? Adding to the pressure.
Seen him up at Ashington?
No, I think there's more chance of seeing him in Ashington than seeing him in a cricket match. It just seems as though he likes his time away. Very quiet man, very unassuming for such a global superstar and a superstar in the size of India. I think he likes his privacy, which is very, very difficult to do. We talk about Virat Kohli coming out of India and wanting, he spends some time in other parts of the world to get away from what it's like in India. Sachin does the same. There's a lot of Indians, when they finish their cricket careers, go across to Australia, come over to England. You can see, because of what it's like to live in that part of the world as a superstar like Dhoni is.
Right, Tom Hartley, left arm around, he's into the attack. It's just Rohit dropping it into the offside, and he'll take a fairly comfortable single to take the score to 67 for 1. So Hartley into the attack after a brief run from Anderson this morning, and Hartley gets to have a go to try and follow up his wickets from the first. 3 for 68 in the first innings. Tom Hartley took 0 for 23 as he starts his 4th over. Short leg for Jaiswal and a slip. Left arm around the wicket, comes in past umpire Dharmasena. There's a lot of foot movement there from Jaiswal, but he ends up just turning it to Ollie Pope at short leg. No run. 1 brings 2. It's a phrase that's been around cricket for so long. England just want that breakthrough. In goes Hartley. Jaiswal uses his feet to it. Gets taken on the pad. England are asking a pretty awkward question of umpire Dharmasena there. They're going to get together and have a conversation.
I think it's straight. I think it's going to hit the stumps, but unfortunately for Ben Stokes, who has gone to the review, I think he's too far down the wicket. And I think that will go in the umpire's favour and go in the batter's favour.
TV umpire to director, we have a player.
If it's over 3 metres down, do you keep your review?
It'll be umpire's call,
because it'll be technically umpire's call.
I think it's umpire's call, yeah. I think it is umpire's call if it's 3 metres down the wicket. I think that's what's going to save. I think it's landed in and around off stump. It's turned back nicely, but I think he's a long way down the wicket.
But just give me all try just to make sure ball passing close to the bat.
So Joel Wilson has started the process. First thing he's checking is whether there's an inside edge.
Is it just outside the line, maybe? It's hard to tell from this angle, because also he's sort of dancing across.
He's dancing across the stump, so I think this might be hitting inside the line. I think what's going to save Jaiswal is he's a long way down the wicket, a hell of a long way down the wicket.
I mean, in fairness, it's a very difficult decision for the umpire, because there's a lot of moving parts here and a lot of things to consider. Right, we're still waiting to find out whether there was an inside edge on that. The technology hasn't had a cup of coffee yet this morning. Right,
Flat line.
Hang on a minute.
Take it back, one frame.
There's a wave.
Take it back.
Where's that waveform?
Take it back and
yeah, but surely it's got to be the bat at the bottom of the pad.
Forward.
Yeah, it's a bat at the bottom.
I need to see that again.
Oh, is it? he's not going to
Please
miss this.
don't tell me, Joel, you're going to say he's hit this.
Forward, yeah, slower, director, slower.
Please
Slower.
tell me you're not going to
Frame
tell
by
me he's going to
frame
hit
and
this.
freeze it. Freeze it right here.
You can see.
Right, has not gotten to the pad yet. There's an inside edge.
No, there's not.
Bat first.
Oh, you are
Bat
kidding
first.
me.
He's done it
Kumar, you'll
again.
be staying with your original decision of not out. Stand by, you're on screen.
There's a gap between bat and ball. The bat has hit the bottom of the pad. You can see that. What on earth is he watching?
And England have lost that review, which is why that is so significant.
But I think England have reviewed that, knowing that if it's 3 meters down, it's umpire's call. So don't lose the review.
Right. Okay. Hartley. Left arm around the wicket to Jaiswal. Loops up on the leg side. Ollie Pope is under the helmet there. There's cries of catch. He's not able to. I think it was pad all the way. But things are starting to happen.
I just can't get my head around some of these decisions. I know there's been a lot of talk about DRS and the technology. DRS is...
Hartley in, left arm around the wicket. Jaiswal's coming forward, pushes back to the bowler, no run.
It's been a massive talking point through this game. To question the technology, I think we're questioning the last couple of years on what the technology's been like to previous times. I'm all for DRS. It's the right thing. It's just, unfortunately, I think this time being charged by somebody who hasn't used it properly. Again, the cameras are going on Joel Wilson. He's laughing, he's smiling. You've got that one wrong. You've got that one horribly wrong. It wouldn't have been given out, but you've not gone through the full process properly.
Hartley is around the wicket. Jaiswal goes up the reverse and it's just wide of the fielder at point, and it'll go away for 4. Well, all the talk in this series about how little India have reversed. Well, Jaiswal will go down. He'll play the shot on this occasion. He'll hit Hartley away for 4. 15 overs complete here on TalkSport 2. India 71 without loss. They need 121 more to win. Steve Harmison's gone for a rub down with a copy of the Radio Times somewhere in a quiet corner. Jared Kimber.
So we know that Rahul Dravid spoke to Kevin Peterson about wanting the Indian players to sweep more, and he doesn't want them to sweep like the English players. He just wants them to have an extra option, and I think that's all that was in that situation. It's a little bit risky from Jaiswal. He didn't nail it, and wasn't that far away from being caught. But I think the idea was then, especially for these England spinners, they just have one more thing to think about. So very clever batting from Jaiswal.
Rohit to be on strike, Bashir to start. And I guess the conversation now about technology, as we've seen with football, with VAR, Bashir to start a new over. Rohit just clips this to square leg and there's no run. The technology is only as good as the humans who use it.
Or designed it, or, regulate it. Look, I will say this again, and I've said this about 1,000 times in the last 5 years. We need specialist third umpires. A specialist third umpire would know what to look for in that situation.
Bashir is in. Rohit playing from the crease to Ollie Pope at short leg.
If you are a professional umpire, you have spent all your life standing behind the stumps making decisions. Completely different to what third umpiring is. And then once every 3 games, you have to sit in a booth and use technology and understand what you're looking for.
Bashir is in. Rohit uses his feet to get to the pitch of it. Turn to Stokes, no run.
And it is a completely different skill than normal umpiring. I'm not saying don't pick the third umpires from the umpiring pool, of course. I'm not saying, pick your mate Bob off the couch or anything, Jude. But what I am saying is it is a different set of skills that is needed. It should be someone who is doing it every single game, understands how it works, understands the technology, works with these people correctly.
Shoaib Bashir is in. Rohit opens the blade as it's outside of off stump, guides it towards third. Joe Root is sprinting after it from slip. He will slide, flick it back to Ollie Robinson, and will save 1 run. India take 3. The target is down to 118 more. There's 74 without loss. Have you fitted? No, he's carrying on.
I just don't think we should have people who can't even operate their own Hotmail accounts making decisions on technology. It has to be people who understand the technology, who have those skills themselves, who understand the production and how cricket is brought together, or, Jude, just people who do it all the time and can learn those skills. Apologies to all Hotmail users out there.
Shoaib Bashir for the 5th ball of the over. Jaiswal is down, trying to swing it away into the leg side. He's got a fine blade on it, and it'll go through very fine leg and away for 4. 7 runs in 2 balls in this Bashir over. It's now reduced. India 78 without loss. They need 114 more to win. Alex Tudor has been replaced Steve Harmer some 5 balls ago. He's not been able to pick up the mic in that time because Jared's been off his long run. Harmy was on his long run before that. After this next delivery, Tubes, you can come in off your long run if you like, or you can just bolt him off spin. It's entirely up to you. 114 more. Jaiswal 33 not out from 40. Rohit 45 from 55 balls faced. England needed an early breakthrough this morning. They're 34 minutes in. They've not been able to get it yet, and to be honest, no ball has misbehaved yet either. Bashir is in. Jaiswal hitting hard through point. Anderson can't cut that off. That's 4 more. It's now 11 from 3 balls this over, and it's 110 more needed by India. They're 82 without loss after 16 overs on TalkSport, TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. It is a very warm welcome, Alex Tudor.
Good morning, Macca. Morning, listeners. Yeah, just walking in and seeing Mr. Wilson having an absolute nightmare again. I don't understand what he possibly is seeing. I mean, I saw it straight away. Saw that hit the bottom of the pad. It was like in the first innings with England. I just don't understand that. As you said, you've got technology with you. You've got everything at your disposal and you still get it wrong. He's not had a good game. But India, the second half, have had a great game. Yesterday, day 3 was theirs, most definitely. They came back at England, bowled them out. Ashwin and with Kuldeep Yadav bowled extremely well to get them back in this game. 82 for none off just 16, showing their positive intent. Pressure on England. They need a miracle. They need things to happen very, very quick, Macca.
Just dawned on me that in all of that carnage, we've never actually seen the ball tracking plot of that. So we've never actually found out how close an LBW shout it was or otherwise. Still don't know, was it over 3 metres down the pitch? Would it have gone on and hit the stumps? And we've got an unofficial Indian drinks break here. Rohit's getting some repairs to his bat. Jaiswal's doing whatever, and now the umpires have gone on and said, hey, come on lads, we've only been out here 35 minutes this morning. It's not exactly baking hot at the moment, so let's get a bit of a move on, shall we?
Bumble will be going nuts now, wouldn't he? He'd be going absolutely, he'd be off his long run as well, I reckon.
Good morning, coach. Hope you're feeling well this morning. Right, Hartley to bowl, and he's in long, earnest conversation with Ben Stokes about what the plan is, what they're thinking, what they're going to try and do. What is that? The result of that conversation? Shall we try and finish off Harmy, do you think? Because I've just been sent something that apparently Ravi Shastri said on the TV. Joel Wilson should be a permanent TV umpire. He's very good as a third umpire. Jared's shoulders have just gone so low they've nearly taken his ankles off.
Harmy, where are you, fella?
Apparently on TV they said that was a great call, so they've missed it as well. I don't know what to say. Also, they shouldn't be third umpires.
Right, the resulting conversation between Stokes and Hartley is finished. Hartley's at the end of his mark, and in he comes to the right-handed Rohit. That one actually stands up quite high. Rohit is just dropping it down at his feet, and there's no run. Stokes will back his bowlers. Boys were talking about earlier. Maybe yesterday a little bit too much, but there was a long conversation before play this morning with the youngsters Hartley and Bashir. Now Hartley is in. That one doesn't really turn, it just goes in with the arm. Rohit, though, is solidly forward, playing it out on the offside. No run, he remains 45 not out.
When I was having my conversation with Manners yesterday, halfway going through my 5, 6, 7 players that made a difference in my career, there's a lot of Adam Hollyoak in Ben Stokes for me. He was exactly the same. Just backed his bowlers. He would do some crazy things on the field. Didn't like the game to drift, and Ben Stokes is definitely the same.
Hartley around the wicket. Now that one, I'm not going to say it stayed low, but he didn't bounce quite as high as Rohit thought. And he pushes out on the offside, no run. We've not had a horror ball so far today.
That's what I mean. On a wicket that we saw on day one, Macca, didn't we, before lunch, we were thinking, it's just only going to go south very quickly, but it hasn't. You're able to bat.
Yeah, we weren't expecting to be here on day 4, let's be brutally honest. When we saw that ball Ben Stokes got, final ball before lunch on day 1, we weren't thinking we were going to be here much longer past lunch on day 3. Let's tell the truth about the whole thing. So, Rohit, 45 not out, facing Hartley. Left arm around. Rohit from deep in the crease just gently pushes to mid-wicket and will amble a single that takes him to 46. India need 109 more. They're getting towards halfway of this 192 targets. They're 83 without loss.
Yeah, so it's a wicket where, yes, there are some demons in it, but if you just bat properly in, and the thing is, it's not happening quickly. So even though it's the odd ball's keeping low, you've got enough time to readjust.
Hartley around the wicket to Jaiswal. He brings him forward, playing defensively. No run. Well, I'm near the end of my stint and I've not been able to take a wicket. The production group yesterday informed me that of the 30 wickets that have fallen in this test, I've taken 16 of them. So I've been absolutely hogging them. I would have quite happily given a few of those away for a couple this morning from an England point of view. But so far, I've dried up. I've only got 1 ball left.
I think the chat was that you're staying on.
Longest stint in history. Hartley in, left arm around, and it's played defensively by Jaiswal, and that is the end of the over. 83 without loss, India here on TalkSport, TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. India need 109 more to win. I've got the shepherd's crook. The boss is coming in to take over the ball by ball.
Yeah, Ben Stokes, he'd be just having a little chat with the bowlers, just ringing the changes. Joe Root's coming on now in replace of Shoaib Bashir to see if he can extract something from this wicket. They need things to happen very fast, very quickly. But Rohit Sharma, 46 from 59, and Jaiswal, 37 from 43 balls. They've shown in their intent this morning. Looking dangerous. 83 for none. But you just never know. 1 brings 2. But they need to be 1 brings 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5. Morning, Johnny.
Well, like Joel Wilson, Andrew McKenna had 1 job. Fall from Joe Root. And defended by Rohit Sharma, who is 46 not out. And as you say and have said, Macca and Manners have both made comment, England needed to strike. That's obvious, and they needed to strike early. India need 109 runs to win the match and the series, as Root is in. And this is clipped straight down the wicket, and Stokes can't field it at mid-wicket. So Rohit Sharma will move to 47. And that will bring Jaiswal onto the crease. 108 runs to win for India then. Who could believe it? This time yesterday when they started out, 134 runs behind England's first innings score. Just 3 wickets remaining. But they believed and they played well yesterday. Full! And this is going to be caught by Jimmy Anderson. Running in from backward point. It's a rash shot from Jaiswal. But Joe Root has struck. And England still believe India have lost their first. 84 for 1. Jaiswal goes for 37.
What a catch. Still can't believe him, 41 years old. He moves in the field like a 20-year-old. It's a loose shot. He saw the width, puff of dust out the foothole. He's gone for the expansive drive. It's looped up. And he's dived forward like a salmon. James Anderson, 41 years young, and the change has worked. And Joe Root's got the wicket, the big wicket. Jaswal, who departs for 37. India at 84 for 1. Could this be the difference?
Jaiswal went for a big booming drive there, but the ball has turned. There's a big puff of dust as well. And Joe Root, who opened the bowling last night with Tom Hartley, brought back into the attack, and with his third ball of his 5th over has removed one of the danger men. Jaiswal caught Jimmy Anderson running in from backward point for 37, and that brings Shubman Gill to the crease. Gill, as we know, has got a lot of runs, but pretty much every occasion he's been a bit of a nervy starter.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. You got 2 number 3s in this Test series who just remind me of Dean Jones. Like, they just come out and they just look like they're all over the shop early on. Once they get in, we know how good Shubman Gill and Ollie Pope can be, but they don't start particularly well. So England, I don't know if they have a chance, but they have an opening, I suppose, is the better way of putting it at the moment. Bit of a delay. Stokes is talking to the umpire. Just wondering what this is about. Wicket. Folks has come up as well. Did you pick that up?
No, I'm not sure what that was about.
It looked like he was talking about positioning, but doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, we'll wait and see if we pick anything up from that. But what we do know is that England have struck 40 without loss overnight. India adding 44 to their overnight score. But Jaiswal has been caught quite brilliantly from Jimmy Anderson. And Shubman Gill about to face his first delivery with a slip and short leg in place. Round the wicket and leg slip as well, and Gill almost yorks himself coming down the track, thick inside edge onto the boot. Really did leap well. Root again, and Shubman Gill forward and drives this ball to Tom Hartley at long on. So he's trying to get his feet moving in a way that we just saw Jimmy Anderson.
Yeah, I'd have that long on in. I reckon, say to Gill, go over the top. Don't give him that easy single. Captains tend to do that now, don't they? But I'd most probably have him in. You ain't got a lot of runs to play with. We need wickets.
Rohit, does he modify his game at all? 47 not out, and this is full, and clipped again to Ben Stokes at mid-wicket, and that's the end of the 18th over. Joe Root has picked up a wicket. England desperately needed it, and it means that Shubman Gill will face the first ball of the next over. Bashir, whose 5 overs have gone for 26. And the pressure just on India, just for a second. Over or two whilst Gill finds his feet, gets himself comfortable, but so much pressure on both of these sides. There's so much at stake. And if England could get one more here, India's still 107 runs adrift. Stokes just ringing a few more changes in the field. Gill's ready. Root at first slip. Pope at short leg, and he's down the wicket again, is Shubman Gill. And to my eyes, he's setting a stall out early here.
Awesome, buddy.
It's a smallish total. Long on is still up by the boundary, and mid-off is being pushed back as well. Not to the boundary, but a couple of yards back. It's Anderson there, I think, as Bashir is in, and this is clipped not that far to the right of Ollie Pope at short leg. It went really quickly. I mean, one of those ones that if it had gone straight to him, possibly would have all been on reflex and instinct. But Gill again, he's moving, and this ball has died on Pope. It's gone to his right. It's wrong-footed him.
Yeah, he was sort of walking in there with him as he saw him advance. He's followed him. Gus Logie like. Not that Gus Logie had spinners to deal with apart from Roger Harper, but he had the fast series. But he used to do that. Boone, David Boone was outstanding in there. James Taylor
springs to mind as well. Anderson is still at the short, fine leg. There's a short leg, and this ball is once again played comfortably enough by Rohit Sharma to Ben Stokes at short mid-wicket.
I mean, at Surrey, I had Nadeem Shahid. He was outstanding in there. At least 20-odd catches he would get a season in there.
There's plenty of chatter from the England fielders as Rohit comes down. Places the ball back to Bashir, who kind of fumbles in his follow-through, but there's no problem. The ball deviates out to Ben Stokes. No run. You're listening to Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2 this morning. England need 9 wickets and India need 106 runs to win the 4th test. Down the track again. This is a fraction wider. But again, no run.
Eknath Solkar, the Indian short leg fielder, 27 matches, 53 catches. Still probably one of the best to ever do it. Sadly, before TV cameras, so we don't have a lot of footage of him. But
how many spinners were India playing?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, he was almost a specialist catcher.
And that has been lofted over Ben Stokes at short mid-wicket by Rohit Sharma. Down the track again. He actually kind of timed it.
Well, he times everything, doesn't he, Johnny? He times the ball well, but it's like, was it deliberate? I mean,
well, that's what I mean. It almost looked like he was lobbing Stokes.
Yeah.
And it still looks like he was lobbing Stokes.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's a risky single to take.
It is.
At any stage of a match.
Especially for just one.
There you go. Right. Ben Stokes can't believe that shot. So 105 needed. So what was that stat again? How many short leg catches in how many test matches? 50?
They weren't all short leg. He fielded leg slip in all sorts of positions in silly point, but he played 27 tests and took 53 catches as an outfielder. I think it's still the best record, the most amount of catches to matches that any outfielder has ever had in test cricket, I think, unless someone else has gone past it and I haven't seen it. And he only averaged 25 with the bat and bowled very part-time. Like, he was almost a specialist short leg. He was that good.
4 men out on the boundary for Rohit Sharma as Tom Hartley is in, and this is left alone. Keeps quite low as well. There's a forward deep point. There's a long off. There's a deep square leg and a mid-wicket on the boundary. Although it's more of a mid-on now rather than a long-on, as Sharma takes another step down the track, and this ball turns and bounces, but it's quite slow, and Rohit can just modify his shot. Drops the ball into the offside. No real danger there. You can hear the England fielders. There's only a couple round the bat, as this time Rohit can play back, and it's a compact cut shot which travels out to deep point, and there's enough time for Rohit to come back for a second, and you can hear from the cheers in the crowd that means the 50 has been reached by the India captain. Doesn't even really acknowledge it. Little wave up to the balcony, and that's pretty much it, and you can understand why. India have just lost a wicket. Jaiswal has just been caught quite brilliantly by Jimmy Anderson, running in from short third. Shubman Gill at the non-strikers end, 2 from 4. It's the captain's knock so far from Sharma, who once again dreamily plays his cut shot on the back foot out to the point, and another run is knocked from the target. India 90 for 1. Sharma's gone past 50. And India need 102 runs to win the 4th test match and win the series. Camera's picking up Rohit Sharma's reaction to that Jaiswal dismissal, and he's not happy, was he? Or he wasn't happy at the shot selection by Jaiswal, as Shubman Gill this time does get a foot forward, but the back foot is behind the crease, and he's defending Tom Hartley. I think that's the first time that Shubman Gill hasn't come out the crease. He's only faced 5 deliveries, mind, but outwardly, seemingly like he's full of confidence and trying to get on with things. Front foot again. This is straight by Hartley, draws the defensive prod by Gill. I think Shubman Gill is probably going to benefit from just having Rohit Sharma at the other end. Calming presence.
Yeah, he's a classy player, isn't he? I mean, wherever he scores runs, he's going to be elegant, with timing, with poise, balance at the crease. He really is a special talent. That's why I was surprised when Gerard hit me with his stats. I was thinking, you know, when you think of players, I always think of Carl Hooper's one as well. Should have got more. Should have got more. With the talent they've had and possessed, you're just thinking, should have got more runs.
Bashir is in, and once again, Rohit Sharma quite happy to loft the ball over mid-wicket, despite the fact that there is also a deep mid-wicket in position, but the ball sails into the expanse between the two fielders, and he comes through for a single. That brings Shubman Gill back on strike, and I'm not sure England will be too unhappy about that. Packed leg side field, and the fielders on the offside quite close as well, as Bashir is in again, and Gill uses his feet well, smothers a spin, pushes the ball back to the bowler. 101 needed for India. You're listening to Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2 as Bashir is in, and on the sweep is Gill. There's a shot that brings with it quite a lot of risk. Misses, and the pad's brought into the equation. But that short, fine leg fielder, Jimmy Anderson, who's already picked up a catch in a similar part of the ground, albeit to the right-hander. He's waiting for that kind of shot as well, as Gill comes down the track and is forced to play with the bat well in front of the pad, almost playing to the leg side. He looked a little bit uncomfortable there. Deep square is going out to the boundary. Long on's still there, but mid-wicket's gone a little bit straighter as Gill shapes to come forward, but then in the end plays defensively with his on the back foot. 91 for one ball left of the 21st over, and a good over from Bashir. He's asking questions of India's number 3. And here it is, and he's Shubman Gill punches this delivery from Bashir straight to Anderson. He's quite deep at mid-off, and he'll take a single. Exactly 100 runs to win now for India. Gill moves to 3.
Here we go, boys. Here we go, hard seat.
You just wish England had another 60 or 70, Tudes? Would look so different. India still need another 160 or 170 to win this test match.
Yeah, 100%. You know, you always look back to that second innings of England. You're just thinking, how, you know, where could you have got a few more runs? The way that they only batted for 52 overs.
But they didn't bat quickly, did they? It's, you know, most test matches you can point to a couple of moments. You think, what if? But I thought India were incredible yesterday with the ball, and pretty impressive with the bat as well. Those last 3 wickets, Jurel, as Shubman Gill punches this delivery from Hartley up to mid-off, no run.
It's that Ashwin, isn't he? Such a competitor. Once he took that new ball, he knew he had to turn the game, and he did massively.
But Yadav with bat and ball, I thought he was brilliant yesterday. Defended again by Shubman Gill. He's not coming down the track to Hartley, not so far in this over anyway. Just seems like the chatter's just died down a little bit in the field.
You need to go bang bang. You know, when you get that wicket, you just think you need another one in the next 2 overs or so. They've just nullified that a little bit, India. But they've got to believe, and they will under Stokes. They will believe. Another 2 now. Get Padadar in. He didn't look great in the first innings.
A little bit wider this time from Hartley, and forward is Gill. He plays defensively but opens the face just a touch, and the ball travels out to backward point. No run. That's a better line from Hartley there. He's in again. This is a touch straighter, and Gill looks more comfortable propping forward, pushing the ball to Ollie Pope at point.
Very nice there, buddy.
Two catching fielders in the covers, Pope and Stokes. But Shubman Gill was not pushing at this delivery from Alex Hartley. Instead, just dead bats it, lets the ball roll along to backward point. No run. Very wide of the crease, Tom Hartley.
Lovely, lads.
She'll do well to be bowling out there. She's in Pakistan, I think. Alex Hartley.
Did I say Alex?
You did.
I think that was said yesterday as well. Was it by Jared? Down the track and just clipped away by Gill. He'll get off strike and he'll face the first ball of the 23rd over. Not Alex Hartley. There are similarities.
Well, they're both left-arm finger spinners, and they're both called Hartley. I think, you know.
They're both from the north, aren't they?
It's, this is an unfair one.
One is 6'6".
Slightly different heights. Yeah. Slightly different paces as well. To be fair, Tom's a lot quicker than Alex.
Tom Hartley isn't a social media star yet.
Although he did go viral, didn't he, when he danced on the table?
There you go.
Hasn't got
maybe he is then.
the famous podcast as well.
No.
With her partner in crime, Kate Cross.
Yep, shout out to Kate Cross.
Yeah, good girl.
Is she out in the WPL?
Yeah, she is, yeah. Yeah, she's got a gig. So she's out there.
She is a star, isn't she? So, where are we then? An hour gone, and India certainly will be the happier of the two sides. They have lost a wicket. Jay Swale caught brilliantly by Jimmy Anderson from the bowling of Joe Root for 37. But India have added 53 runs to their overnight score, and the target now has just dipped below 100. Rohit Sharma is still there. He's gone past 50. Shubman Gill looks pretty assured, 4 from 17. So where are these 9 wickets coming from? Jared, you got any ideas?
No, I tell you what I do have, which I do think is quite interesting.
Should have said Dharamsala.
I almost did say that, but I thought that was a bit unfair. But this is the lowest runs per over that England have had during this entire era. They've only had 2 games where they've scored at under 3.5 runs and over. The other one was the first game of Bazball. Everything else has been at 3.8 runs and over or quicker, and they scored at 3.13 runs per over in this Test match. Partly that's conditions, partly that was the collapse at the end and everything else.
How well did India bowl yesterday?
I thought India bowled very well, but it wasn't just yesterday, was it? Because they didn't actually bat that long yesterday. I'm just putting it out there that I think a lot of people will say, oh, Bazball failed in India, and it's like, this might have been their least Bazball, but, India might end up scoring quicker in this game than them.
They weren't allowed to Bazball, were they? Manners is about to come in. Harmy's replaced Alex Tudor. And for more Alex Hartley, Tom Hartley chat. And hopefully 4 or 5 wickets. It'll be Harmy, Manners and Jared Kimber.
Yeah, 4 or 5 wickets would be nice. 1 would be ideal, and that would be the India captain. I think if England were to get the India captain, I think that then opens an end, not an opens an end as to say that the tail enders are coming in, because there's some fine players to come in, but some experience other than Jadeja in that top 6, top 7 know how to get them over the line into winning positions in a Test match. I don't think that's there from an experience point of view. So Rohit's the big wicket. If I was India, I don't know about you, Jared, if I was India, I'd have Jadeja and Patitar padded up and say, if Rohit gets out, you send in the experienced man, you send in Jadeja, and he holds the fort while everything goes around him, and you always got somebody that's been out there in the pressure situation as many times as what Rohit has and Jadeja has.
It's an interesting one, actually. because Jadeja does get thrown around the order quite a bit as it is, so he's more used to it than most other players.
Drinks have been taken.
Just from a game point of view, some wickets to liven this up.
Here's Shoaib Bashir. Down the wicket comes Rohit driving out to Dan Lawrence, who's on the field. And he's only just come on at the drinks break, I think, and he misfielded that one and then set off to collect his misfield behind him and stumbled and slipped in the outfield.
Just because I think this has been such a fantastic series so far, if it peters out with India just sort of cruising to victory here, just be a bit of a shame for the series, being that, that's it, because I do think it's been one of the more entertaining ones I've followed.
Rohit picked up a couple, moving on to 52. Shubman Gill has 5 off 18. I beg your pardon, they only ran 1. Shubman Gill picked up that single to move to 5. Rohit returns to strike on 52. India 94 for 1. There's still a lot of runs required, and a quiet period will suddenly result in that target looking considerably bigger than it is. The next one is played defensively by Rohit. Very, very upright, back deep in his crease, playing it off the pitch. Still 98 runs to win. It's entirely feasible to imagine a stumble from India. Bashir in again and hits the inside half of the bat and towards short fine leg. 94 for 1. So India not halfway yet. 98 still required. Just the one man out. Yes, Shazvi Jaiswal caught brilliantly at backward point by Jimmy Anderson with the bowling of Joe Root. Down the wicket comes Rohit once again using his feet. Seems obvious to me, Harmy, that Rohit is entirely aware, as you would expect, of the dangers of a quiet period.
Yeah, he is, and I think that's highlighted of the way they batted in the first innings.
He's just very conscious that you need to keep the scoreboard ticking over, and now does pick up another single, clipping it off his pads out towards the leg side, backward square leg. He moves on to 53, 95 for 1. Ben Stokes trying everything he knows. He had a long old chat to the spinners this morning before the start of play. And they were in their warm-up kit. Had a long old chat to Bashir and Hartley. Short leg and a slip in as Bashir is in, just short enough to allow Shubman Gill to play from the crease, and he does so, nudging it towards mid-wicket, and there is no run. No sign of Ollie Robinson in the attack today, and I don't think there will be either.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I think rumours were coming out of the England camp this morning from the journalists that are on the ground in Ranchi that Ollie Robinson was struggling with his back. I think we've seen when he batted in the first innings, he pulled up. He didn't exert himself too much batting in the second innings. He already bowled 10 overs in that first innings, 13 overs, 0 for 54. I'd be very, very surprised if we do see Ollie Robinson. I thought Jimmy Anderson got a little bit out of the surface this morning. I think we've mentioned before Rohit Sharma not wanting to have quiet passages. Rohit Sharma hit Jimmy Anderson for a 6 and he's coming at him, but I'd be surprised if we see Robinson now, especially after the decisions Stokes made last night about who opened the bowling and them 8 overs. He's given Anderson 3 overs this morning, but it'll be interesting to see if he does go to Robinson, if he can bowl at all. That tall release point on this surface, you'd think would be another, I wouldn't say a handful, but it would be another demon that the Indian batters would have to factor into their decision making when they're coming out of their crease at the ball.
Good question for you, Harmy, and you can treat it as a rhetorical question if you like. I know you won't necessarily know the answer, but you'll have a much more astute feel for the answer than I could. Here's Hartley in once again, and clipped away by Rohit straight to a deepish mid-on. Ollie Robinson yesterday, is he capable of bowling quicker than he did? Was he bowling within himself? And following on from that, I mean, it's sort of upper end of medium pace, but it was medium pace, around 120 kilometres an hour. Is that adequate at test level? If that's your limit, that's short and it's cut out to the sweeper on the cover boundary and they go through for a single.
I think it depends where you play in the world, Manners. I think by the end, Glenn McGrath was bowling 127, 129, but he was so accurate.
Yeah, but that's 10 kilometres quicker than Ollie Robinson.
He was so accurate. Yeah, I think Ollie Robinson's average speed yesterday was on the first innings was 126, which is 77, I think, 76, 77 miles per hour. I think if you're ultra accurate and you're asking questions in and around the sort of off-slump area, then I think in England that's fine. I think he will get wickets. He's proved he's get wickets. He's got 50 wickets in Test match cricket at an average of 22. I don't think there's any question about his actual bowling ability, ball after ball. I think it's putting it all together in a spell, which then comes back for a second spell, which then comes back for a test match, which then turns into can he play 2 in a row. All these things have been labelled and questioned at Ollie Robinson. He hasn't played since July. He's walked off 3 big series now.
Clipped away off his pads by Shubman Gill, straight towards mid-wicket, and there's no run.
There's been question marks in 3 big test matches and 2 Ashes test matches. If there is something in this one, this is 3 big test matches that there has been question marks over his fitness and his durability. At some point, England might have to turn around and go, well, where are we going with Ollie Robinson?
Oh, that's a terrific delivery from Hartley. Spins and bounces past the outside edge. Beautifully taken by Ben Folkes. It's a super delivery. Shubman Gill survives it.
It was an absolute beauty. Just pitched in and around that off-stump turn, it bounced. It's a beautiful looking ball that unfortunately is not going to get a wicket because it's just too good. Even Rohit Sharma wouldn't have nicked that.
Forward comes Shubman Gill, pushing it out towards mid-wicket again, but Hartley goes and does his own fielding. 96 for 1, 96 needed.
The England team and Ben Stokes, they like Ollie Robinson. They do like Ollie Robinson. The selectors like to pick Ollie Robinson because there's undoubted there's talent there. The bowler has got very much loads to offer when it comes to the bowling.
Hartley in over pitches and it's clipped away past or wide of Zak Crawley at mid-wicket. They go through for a single. India over halfway. Rohit Sharma 54, Shubman Gill 6, 24 overs gone. India 97 for 1.
And England invested in Ollie Robinson. They've given him a contract. I think he's got a 2-year contract, a 1-year or 2-year contract. And he's 30 years old. He's not going to play any franchises. He only plays first class cricket or test match cricket. For me, Stuart Broad walking off into the sunset, with a big fanfare and a congratulations on a wonderful career from Broad. You look at Robinson and think, well, you've got 5 years in you just to take over from Stuart Broad. You're not going to play franchise cricket. You're not going all around the world, and you are going to play 7 test matches at home. You'll play 5. You play 3 or 4 away from home. Try and get them through 10 test matches a year for 4 or 5 years and build a career that way. If the penny drops, that are you fit and are you durable? And that's the question. Can Ollie Robinson be fit and durable? And the honest answer at this minute in time has to be no. It is. It's not there. He's walked off too many times, or there's been too many fitness problems around Robinson that I think people are starting to scratch their head out.
Shoaib Bashir in, big appeal for leg before wicket. He's missed a sweep shot. Did it turn too much? Was that heading down the leg side? Shubman Gill with a big sweep shot. Ben Stokes is now considering a review. He's having a chat to Ben Folkes, but I have to say that for all his inexperience, Shoaib Bashir's compellingly honest about.
Yeah, he is. He is very good when it comes to. For me, he's very good when it comes to review. His eyes are a lot better than Ben Stokes's sometimes. I should say all the time, and that he knew straight away it was going down. I think it was pretty obvious it was going down, but it was a good ball. It's good pressure being built up by Shoaib Bashir, and Shubman Gill's having to go to the sweep shot.
Ben Folkes was flying down the leg side then, stopped, jumped back behind the stumps and appealed. Just beautiful work for the wicketkeeper.
Yeah, it's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? The keeper knows where the ball's going. Here is Bashir again now. Pitches outside the off stump, a little bit wider. And forward comes Rohit. Plays defensively, no run.
So I think to finish on Robinson, I don't think we're going to find out whether Robinson is fit enough to bowl or not, because I don't think Ben Stokes is going to utilise him, and I think that might help Ollie Robinson, evade criticism a little bit.
Bashir, gives that one a lot more air. That's a beautiful piece of bowling. Controlled that. It's 7 or 8 kilometres an hour slower than his average speed. Really tossed that one up, inviting the drive, but Rohit defends in the end. Rohit, the captain, 54 not out from 79 balls. Shubman Gill, 6th man out. Yashasvi Jaiswal, the series leading scorer, caught a backward point brilliantly by Jimmy Anderson, diving forward off the bowling of Joe Root, mistiming a cut shot, and now a single down towards long on. Ben Duckett fields. Yes, Jared, you've had a full start with the microphone 3 times now.
I've picked it up, and then, this is crazy. This is now Rohit Sharma's highest score in the 4th innings of any first-class match.
Any first-class match? Wow.
Any first-class match. Going past the 52 he scored against Australia in Sydney in 2021.
Oh, not even in India?
Yeah. That was the hesitation, because yesterday we were looking at the fact he'd never made 100 in the 4th innings in India, and now you can see.
Sorry, Bashir, and that's Shubman Gill playing defensively. The ball just spins back towards, or behind him anyway, but not towards the stumps. That's an alarming record.
There's a lot of alarming things when it comes to Test match record. He's Rohit Sharma's Test match record. Amount of games, amount of runs he scored. For the age he's at.
Pushed away, out by Shubman Gill towards Ben Stokes at mid-wicket, and there's no run. 99 for 1. I think it's fair to say that what you're intimating is that Rohit's reputation is far more, and his stature. I mean, as a captain, as a long-established figure, it's greater than the numbers might suggest. Is that?
Now the numbers for me, the numbers, the average in the strike rate, hundreds, the 50s to the hundreds ratio, that's all there. Highest score, it's up there with anybody really. But I was amazed that he'd only played 57 Test matches. He's 36-year-old. I was amazed. He's now gone past. I think he's now gone past 4,000 Test match runs.
And 9,000 first-class runs.
Down the wicket, he's got him! Stumped! Rohit Sharma's on the charge to Hartley. Brilliant glove work from Ben Foakes. And a second wicket. First for Hartley. India 99 for 2.
Terrific work from Ben Foakes. Brilliant stuff. It was not difficult stumping in the sense that Rohit Sharma was 1.5 yards out of his ground. But it was wide, it did keep a little bit low, and Ben Foakes effects the second wicket.
Fantastic bit of bowling from Tom Hartley. I think he's just seen Rohit Sharma come down the wicket early there. He's just dragged it down a little bit. Excellent work from Ben Foakes. It looked very, very simple. It wasn't. That's it. That tells you how good a stumping it was. Rohit Sharma's going towards the ball. He's got to get past. They've got to get the ball past Rohit Sharma, and Ben Foakes not snatching at it, taking it comfortably and whipping the bails off. What a fantastic bit of work there from the Surrey wicketkeeper. And now, Manners, I think we have a ball game. I really do think this game's on for England. Rohit Sharma's gone. England have got the experience out of the way. Jared just mentioned about that's his highest score in first-class cricket in the 4th innings. I think 94 runs is still a long way away for India with what India's got in the tank. Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, Jadeja, Ashwin, if they're all playing, I still think India walk this game. Now, with Jadeja, with the only one with experience in that middle order, I think England's got a chance here now, and I think this game on.
Well, dear listeners and viewers on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel, I just want to tell you that Steve Harmison called it immediately at the start of play. He said Rohit is the key. Rohit is the key. He will steer them home. If England can get him out with around 100 to go, then they'll have a chance, and that has now happened. So he's only reiterating what he said at the start of play. 99 for 2. Rajat Patidar has found some interesting ways to get out in his brief Test career. He's chipped a couple of long hops to cover and mid-wicket, so he won't be bursting with confidence, you wouldn't think. Here is Hartley, bowls to Patidar. Oh, it's one of yesterday's full tosses. He's managed to keep them in the bag so far in his spell today, but his first full toss to Rajat Patidar just chips it out to mid-wicket all the way along the ground.
Oh, he's out twice, caught behind and stumped.
Rohit Sharma actually edged that one, which makes it an even better stumping to my mind. 99 for 2. It'll go down and stump though.
Will it go down and stump? Yeah, it will go down and stump, won't it? But he did catch it. I think Ben Foakes would rather have it down and stump. That's a handy bit of work. See the emotion of Ben Stokes. He knows what that wicket meant.
He's evidently still bursting with confidence, unlike Rajat Patidar. Oh, it's another full toss. Tom Hartley, stop it. You bowled your quota of full tosses yesterday. It's just chipped away by Patidar behind square on the leg side.
Just a bit of excitement, isn't it? And I think that comes with experience, the experience of not playing as much first-class cricket in a pressure-sized situation. You're playing for England, Tom Hartley. Try and get back into that groove. Just calm down a little bit. Somebody take him to one side, walk round, block a little bit, just calm him down, count to 10, then get back on it.
That's better. Hartley now lands one, and Patidar just pushes it defensively straight back to the bowler. I must say that I'm making a judgment here, and he's only faced 4 balls, but the fact that Rajat Patidar hasn't scored from 2 full tosses and is evidently in fully defensive mode.
But that tells you what this Indian batting, that's the rest of the Indian batting unit. They've not rudderless without the experience of Sharma, but that's where the confidence is at this moment.
Patidar again, just absolutely no interest in scoring a run here. He's in fully defensive mode. He's just stretched forward to that one with a dead bat and blocked it. And that's a good sign, I think, for England. 99 for 2, word from Jared Kimber, and then it'll be Andrew McKenna.
I think with Patidar as well, I think we talked about this when he went out in the first innings. He looked like someone who realised he might have given up a great chance to get a Test career, even if it was just as a permanent backup. They like his experience, they like the way he thinks about the game, and he just looked like someone who thought it might be over. And he's playing a little bit like that now. He can get a couple balls off the middle, and maybe his feet move a little bit more. We know he doesn't get massively out of, compared to some of the other players.
Bashir is in to start a new over. Shubman Gill uses his feet, gets him to long off, where Anderson will field. Single taken to bring up the Indian 100. They're trying to make 192 to win this game.
But good chance for England just to keep the field up to him.
Just about to say that.
Yeah.
From England's point of view, from Ben Stokes' Jared, is that does he take the risk a little bit more of conceding a boundary by bringing the field up and crowding Patidar? I would do this. I would just say, right, I'm going to try and bowl 5 balls, give Gill a single every first ball of every over, and try and bowl at Patidar. It'll frustrate Gill as well.
Bashir is in, bowling to Patidar.
Turn round the corner, brilliant catch! Ollie Pope! England have a third! And Patidar has found a new and interesting way of getting out, as Neil Manthorpe said. It's a 5-ball duck, and Bashir has got his first of the second innings. India 100 for 3, still needing 92 more.
Well done, Macca. TalkSport wicket taker is back. Andrew McKenna gets the wicket. What a beautiful delivery that is from Shoaib Bashir. It's turned just outside off stump, back onto Patidar, somebody who doesn't move his feet that well. Jared just mentioned he's coming forward a little bit out of off balance a touch, got an inside edge, and an excellent catch by Ollie Pope at short leg, diving away to his right. Rajat Patidar goes for 6, and that might be the last time we see Patidar in international cricket, because for the last two tests especially, he really has struggled. He really does look devoid of confidence, and his movements, well, he's stuck in the crease just a little bit there. He got out a little bit more forward than he normally does, but he was still static when he got there. He's still planting when he got there, and he had to push his hands out because his front foot got planted. That for me was a beautiful catch as well by Ollie Pope. And now England, confidence high. 92 runs to win. That's a lot of runs. And Jadeja comes to the wicket. Well, I would have had Jadeja in at the fall of the last wicket when Rohit went out, because I think India need as much experience in the middle for as long as they possibly can. And I would be surprised if R. Ashwin comes in a little bit earlier as well.
It's funny enough, myself and Chids were just talking about that out the back, and I said that you'd said you would have sent him in if Rohit was the man out. But then we were having the conversation saying, but that basically saws any confidence that Patidar has anymore completely out of him. And then we've seen him come in and do that anyway.
I think he was coming in to do that anyway, so...
I think if you bat in the Indian team and Jadeja's around, at any stage he might be above you in the order.
He's about to face his first ball then. Bashir is around the wicket to the left hand. It's the outside part of the bat. Straight down though to Ollie Robinson at short third. Now the energy level's gone up a bit.
It has, yeah. Not only on the field but in here as well. We're desperate for this, to go down to the wire and see England get a victory, go 2-2. I think this series deserves a 2-2 the way things have been played.
Bashir around the wicket off of the thigh pad of Jadeja. There's no run as it runs out on the leg side. This was never a foregone conclusion this morning.
No.
India still needed 150 and England were bowled out for 145 in their second innings. This was never a foregone conclusion. Bashir in, brings Jadeja forward as he bowls around the wicket. Jadeja playing defensively, no run. 92 more to win for India. 7 more wickets for England, and if Ollie Pope is going to catch pigeons like that, they have a chance. Right, Bashir has 1 ball left in the over. He got his 5 in the first innings. He's coming in now round the wicket for the second innings. Jadeja's just playing very solidly defensively to end the over. 100 for 3. Jadeja not out from 4 balls. Shubman Gill's been there slightly longer, 27 balls. But although we made 100 earlier in the series, it took him 2 DRS reviews. He could have been stone cold out on 4 in Visakhapatnam. He went on to make 104. So although he's got 100 to his name in this series, he's still not in great nick.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of luck you get. You always need a little bit of luck when you're going to be out there for so long and make 3 figures. You look at the batting unit that India have got. The players are on the screen, and they've got some decent averages, but largely because they haven't played as many games. When you're in dressing rooms like this, Jared, there's always talk. Do you send somebody in to try and put a hole into the small, what is a relatively still a small total? Still a small total. 92 runs is not, it's not a massive amount of runs. It is on this surface.
Hartley around the wicket to the right-handed Gill. He floats this one up, invites the drive, it's hit straight to Pope.
But if England are in this situation, with this team or with a team in the previous test, I would imagine the conversation possibly would have had, do we send Rian Ahmed in just to try and slog a few? Do Tom Hartley go in, try and slog a few and try and put the counter punch?
Hartley in, Shubman Gill defends, no run.
Is there anybody in India's team there? I don't see anybody in the India group. Kuldeep's not really a big shot player, is he?
You wouldn't get him out though.
Yeah, true. More value on his wicket.
Do you know what? Bumrah is not that far away from developing into a player who could do that role.
Hartley, left arm around, goes full loopy. It's pushed to Crawley at mid-on, and they will take a single. Shubman Gill goes to 8. India 101 for 3. The target now 91 away.
They did have that player before. It was Shardul Thakur, but he doesn't really play in India anyway. But he would be perfect in that situation. It's like, because I think he kind of gets off on that sort of stuff as well. Just go out there and smack it.
Yeah, a few years ago, Ashwin, but he's not that now.
Ashwin probably could against the spinners,
Yeah, possibly.
Because he pinch hits for Rajasthan against spin, doesn't he? So yeah, he's maybe not a bad call, but you're right. He's not the batter he was a few years ago.
But you're not saying we're panicking. All you're doing is you're trying to shift the momentum from what is a negative frame of mind and negative thought at this moment in time. Runs are hard to come by the way England are playing, and just shift the narrative a little bit to try and put pressure back on the bowler and back on the opposition captain.
The Andy Bickle, were you in that test match?
I was in that test match. That was down to the wicket, that I think, more than anything else.
Hartley, left arm around the wicket, and it's one that rolls to Jadeja. It grips and turns and goes down the leg side. It'll go for 4 byes, but I said about an hour ago, we haven't seen anything really misbehave yet today. That's the first one. It grips and rolls, and no one had a chance of getting anything.
It always happens, though. While the batters are going well, Jaiswal is batting nicely, and Rohit Sharma's going well, and everything's hunky-dory for the batting unit. You don't get them. All of a sudden, you lose 2-3 wickets, and the pressure's on. Batting becomes difficult, and you get one that rolls along the deck. Unfortunately for England, the one that did that, it did twice to Ben Stokes straight.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too leg side. 87 more for India. Hartley, left arm around. Jadeja solidly forward, no run.
I actually think it was the same crack. It just went leg side, didn't it? You could actually see it hit the crack and like on the side of it rather than the middle where it was with Ben Stokes.
Right, Stokes is going to put himself into leg slip here.
He's not going to catch one if it keeps that low.
He's in a run-saving position. It's a run-saving position at leg slip. Yeah, the cracks really have opened up. We saw the pictures before play started, and they're a decent size now. You'd certainly get pretty much your finger in them now. It's just now about when it hits the edge, what happens, and are the plates themselves starting to move? Hartley, left arm around. Jadeja clips into the onside. And England have 3 fielders stationed pretty deep out there, and Bashir will do the fielding. It's just a single. It's 106 for 3. India need 86 more runs here on TalkSport, TalkSport 2, and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. Jarrod Kimber.
You're right. They have 3 fielders out there, but none of them were on the boundary. They're all about 25 metres in from the boundary, and specifically, I don't know if you saw, Macca, before that ball, Stokes brought them into those positions. And I think what he was saying is we want to protect the 4. But if we know that Jadeja went for a big shot in the first innings against left, if you want to take on the 6, you can. We're not going to give you the 4. And Jadeja's still like, yeah, but I just want a single.
86 more for India. They resumed 40 without loss today. Bashir with one of the wickets so far goes into bowl to Jadeja. He pushes forward, no run. If you are just waking up, if the alarm's gone off at 5:30 this morning, India are 3 down. Jaiswal caught by Anderson off the bowling of Root for 37. Rohit stumped or caught by Folks off the bowling of Hartley for 55. 84 for 1, 99 for 2. Bashir is in, bowled to Jadeja, pushes on the offside, no run. And then Patidar, well caught by Ollie Pope, going full length at short leg off the bowling of Bashir for a 6-ball duck, 100 for 3. And the reason I say either caught or stumped, because TV seems to have shown that he did get a feather on that one, Rohit. And it's now whether the umpires officially changed the dismissal. Bashir is around the wicket to Jadeja, and there is no run. Gary Morgan, our statsman, tells me the biggest collapse in a 4th innings for India of 9 wickets. 9 for 51 when they went from 90 for 1 to 141 all out versus Australia in Perth in 1992. It can be done. Have faith, folks.
That also has cracks on it, that wicket.
Bashir around the wicket. Now, is there an edge on that? There might be too noisy. Bat on boot.
Macca just exploded a laptop. He was so excited about that. Yeah, they're saying bat on pad, bat on boot. That's what Stokes has said straight away there.
If Hawksby and Jacobs are going to bring in YouTube clips of the week, that one might make it. We've got a laptop next to us, so it's got a scorecard on, and as I was doing the commentary, it just closed itself.
Terrified Macca, didn't it?
Bashir around the wicket. Now that one turns. That was slightly shorter in length and driven into the surface, and it really did grip through to the gloves of Folks. No run.
First 8 overs, 42 runs. Since then, what is it? 3 for no runs. I wonder if that light roller just settled the pitch down a little bit, Tudes, and now not so much.
Bashir around the wicket. It's the inside half of the Jadeja, back quite high up, turned around the corner. End of the over, 29 gone. 106 for 3 are India. 86 more to win on TalkSport, TalkSport 2, and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. Alex Tudor.
Morning, everybody. Yeah, it's got that buzz, isn't it? England, there's a lot of chat. Those wickets will help, obviously, having Rohit and Jaiswal back in the pavilion. Patidar, I thought he was a walking wicket anyway, with his no feet. We thought he was going to struggle on this wicket. It was a good wicket to get for Bashir.
Do you know, Crickfish sent this to us yesterday. The only player who is really good in the fourth innings in first-class cricket is Gill. And he has looked the most confident. I know Rohit batted pretty well as well, but Gill's almost looked the most comfortable.
Hartley around the wicket to Gill, and he's playing defensively quietly out on the offside.
Whereas all the other guys coming in didn't have great records in the fourth innings in India, you know, are playing in that sort of situation. So it has followed script at the moment a little bit.
Tom Hartley waits at the end of his mark, comes in and bowls left arm around leading edge, but there's no silly point. Stokes is in at a close mid-off, and therefore wasn't in the right place and wasn't short enough anyway. But again, there's just a little half chance.
Yeah, a lot seemed to be happening. For a while it wasn't. About a minute, every other ball, there's things happening. England believe.
Hartley, left arm around, brings his man forward, pushes back to the bowler, no run. If you've set the alarm for 5:30 this morning to go to work, we've probably given you a few heart attacks already. The adrenaline will be coursing through you before you've even had a morning cuppa. Imagine how we feel. We've been doing this since 4 o'clock. And we'll do it all again, by the way, in Dharamshala in about 10 days' time. Hartley in. Shubman Gill plays quietly to long on, or mid on, and will take a single. The only question is, will the game in Dharamshala be a dead one, with India having gone 3-1 up in the series, or will it be 2-2 and all to play for? 85 more runs for an Indian victory. 7 more wickets for England. It feels like the handbrake has gone on the scoring in the last 20 minutes or so.
And that's good for England. Those 85 seem a long way away. You get a couple now, then all of a sudden, well, you would have to say it tips into England's favour. Who would have said that?
You know, India were briefly the first team to score quicker in a test match than England during Bazball, but unfortunately they've gone, I think, slightly back under.
Ollie Hartley goes in, brings Jadeja solidly forward, and he plays back to the bowler, no run. Simon the Barmy Army trumpeters fired up. He realises that time to get some music going, get the England fans going as well. The Great Escape. And it certainly would be. Hartley, left arm around. Jadeja is taken on the pad, I think. Both Pope and Folks are diving towards the ball on the leg side. Neither can actually catch it, but I think it was pad all the way. 30 overs gone, 107 for 3. 85 more the target for India here on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
If you are getting up, getting yourself ready for work, just make sure you have the app, your smart speaker at the ready. I think there's going to be a close one.
Or just don't go in. Tell him John Norman said it'll be absolutely fine.
Get the old cough going and not feeling too well. I've got a doctor's appointment, I'll be in the afternoon.
Basically find a way to stay with us. It's acceptable today. Honestly, it's acceptable. Right, Shoaib Bashir to start a new over. 1 for to his name. Shubman Gill uses his feet just to get into the ball to push it back to the bowler, no run.
When will the ball go soft, Tudes? Because I reckon they've got about 15 more overs of the ball being hard and hitting cracks and ragging, and then afterwards, if they don't have 2 or 3 more wickets in that time.
It's a good point. Bashir is in. He's deep in his creases, Shubman Gill. Thick outside portion of the blade, guiding it through third. Joe Root gets there and saves it. It'll be a 1-run save because they'll run 3. But with only now 82 more runs to win, every run saved is important.
He's played that well, Shubman Gill. Stayed deep in his crease, played it real late. Nearly taken out of the keeper's gloves, Ben Folks. Chops it down to that vacant third, just opening the blade. Just great commitment, Joe Root. This England team, they can sense something. Body on the line, commitment, it's good to see.
That's the thing about this pitch. When it hits the decent parts, actually it's not too bad. It's a day 4 pitch. It's just the bits that look like the Grand Canyon, and that's the problem. Bashir is around the wicket, bringing Jadeja forward, and there's no run.
that last ball looked like the ball is still very hard and solid, like the way it went off the edge and everything. So, as I said, there's still a while before it goes soft. It's gone soft at different times in this game so far, but it's something that England are going to have to keep in their mind, because it's going to be very hard to get wickets later on.
Bashir around the wicket, beats Jadeja. They're appealing for a caught behind. I don't think he's got close to it. It was too good for him. And the umpire has shrugged that one off. So, no run. Jadeja's got 1 from 17 so far. 82 more the target for India. 7 more wickets for England. Bashir with 2 balls left in this over. Around the wicket to the left-hander. Now that's the outside edge. Beats Joe Root at slip. Well fielded by, I think it's Johnny Bairstow. He's down at backward point. May even be Ollie Robinson. Keeps it to a single. 111 for 3. Reduces that target by 1 more.
You're right about the wicket, but it is starting to spin and grip a little bit more, because that didn't hit a crack, the one that ripped past the edge, did it? But maybe a little puff of dust off the main part of the pitch. So it's starting to act like an Indian wicket, even outside of the sort of blatant cracking.
Yeah, the sun baking it. Just getting rid of that morning nature. Bashir is in. Shubman Gill again, just moving his feet to get into the ball. Squeezes it out on the offside. Joe Root will do the fielding to keep it to 1. Sprinting after that ball from slip. 112 for 3. 80 more to win. 20 minutes to go to lunch, which means it's time for John Norman after some thoughts from Alex Tudor.
Yeah, England can sense something. There's a buzz around in the outfield. Ben Stokes ringing the changes, having a chat with Ollie Pope, having a discussion, what you thinking, talking to his vice-captain. But there seems to be more things happening over by over. Gerard makes a great point. The ball's still hard. But when it went soft, it did less. So they need to strike while the iron's hot.
The iron is hot. 112 for 3, then India. As Hartley is in, this is 2-4 though. Full toss. And that will not reach the boundary, because Ollie Robinson, who hasn't had a bowl today, runs round from the cover boundary and fields, but not before Shubman Gill gets back for a second. So just a little bit of a release shot there from Gill. He's 15. Ravindra Jadeja, India's number 5, is 2 from 18. India 114 for 3 here on TalkSport 2, as Hartley is bowling full and on the pads, actually a bit leggy to Shubman Gill. You can't beat the field as a short fine. We've got about 19 minutes until the lunch break on day 4 in Ranchi, as Hartley draws Gill forward. There's Ben Stokes prowling around in the covers. He'll want to be fielding everywhere, won't he? Just wherever the ball goes, he'll want to be there. England still in this, just as Hartley forces Gill on the back foot, who has looked quite assured. He's been beaten on a couple of occasions, but a notoriously nervy starter.
Go, boys.
He's been at the non-strikers end as Rohit Sharma, and then Padadar were dismissed. 2 full again from Hartley, and this is driven well. It's driven hard along the ground, but it's fielded at extra cover. 78 needed then, Tudes. And whatever happens, we're going to be pushing deep into the afternoon session, aren't we? And it didn't always look like that might be the case. Wider of the crease. This is fired in by Hartley and defended resolutely by Gill. Yeah, the way that Jaiswal and Sharma started out last night, and you know, if they were still there now, then the post-mortem would already be starting, really. As it is, we've got a great lunch break for you. Following in the footsteps of Darren Gough and Alex Tudor, Steve Harmison will be revealing his 5 favourite cricketers, those that he grew up watching and idolising, and the teammates that helped him through and taught him his trade as he's made his way through at Durham, and then on to England, of course. There's some familiar names that are going to be listed, but also a couple of surprises as well. So stick around for that. That will be on TalkSport 2 only, so head over to the TalkSport app and swipe away, or keep it tuned to TalkSport 2 on DAB. 114 for 3 then, India, as Shoaib Bashir is bowled beautifully well today. Gets the left-handed Ravindra Jadeja to come forward. We've seen one beat the outside edge and another take the edge of the bat and just travel down to short third. He's asking questions, is this young man, as he once again gets the outside edge of Jadeja's bat.
Nice, mate.
I don't want to follow the ball too much, but second slip? Feels like every ball's going through a second slip, a vacant area at the moment.
I definitely have someone in there, definitely. Really close.
The series is on the line here. It's not just about winning this test match. If England win it, they're still in the series, 2 apiece, going to the 5th test, as touch straight from Bashir, and Jadeja's happy to prop forward. This is a most un-Jadeja-like innings, but that is what the situation demands right now as we approach the lunch break on day 4. 2 from 21. Bashir gets Jadeja on the back foot and pushing at a delivery. It's quite straight though, fielded by that man against Stokes at extra cover. No run. The wicket shared around today between the 3 spinners that Stokes has at his disposal. Joe Root with the first. The breakthrough. Fine running catch from Anderson. As this just hurries on with the arm, and Jadeja is playing back rather. And he desperately just gets his bat down in time. Otherwise, that was either going to castle the stumps or strike him flush in front. But it kept low, and there's turn.
He played back and it hit the crack, didn't it?
There is 2 fielders now in slips as Jadeja sees off this Bashir over. I mean, the guy is playing like he's got 50 test caps behind him. He hasn't even played 50 first-class games of cricket.
He's not even played double figures, Johnny. I mean, he's learning on the job. He's been impressive. As you said, it was a gut feel from Ben Stokes and the selectors. And it seems it's been a good one. It's only going to do his confidence a world of good. You know, going out to India, trying to win a game for his country. It's gonna land him in good stead. He's bowled beautifully with control.
He really has. 12 overs, 1 for 30. Oh, sorry, that's Hartley's figures, actually. Hartley was bowled. He was a little loose last night, wasn't he? But he's come back today. He has also picked up a wicket.
It's just at a time now where India is not going to capitalise on his mistakes as much, whereas when Jaiswal and Rohit were in, they hadn't lost any wickets, but also, slightly different kinds of players. Gill might still knock him down the ground, but I don't think Gill's going to hit him for a 6 at this stage. And so it means if he over pitches, it might just be defended or pushed to a fielder.
The field is up for Shubman Gill as Hartley is in. And he bowls on the wicket. And Gill defends to the leg side. So much pressure now on the fielding team as well. You wouldn't want to be dropping a catch right now, would you? Even that Dan Lawrence misfield, you could see he was furious with himself. It only led to the loss of a single, but 1 became 2. But Ollie Pope, what a catch he took to dismiss Padidar. As Hartley 2 fallen on the pads of Shubman Gill, and that delivery was being smashed through mid-wicket late last night by Rohit Sharma. And you feel if England are going to do this, it's going to have to be a team effort. It's not going to be one man running through them, as Jadeja hairs down the track after Jadeja plays a ball to short fine leg. There was never a run there. Gill wasn't going anywhere. And Jadeja turns back and gets behind the crease. There's a forward silly point. There's a slip, short third, cover point. As Gill is forward defending the straight delivery from Hartley.
Definitely been more consistent with his line, with his length. Not so many freebies. India under pressure. They can sense it. England can smell it. You can hear the chat around on the stump mic. Where are they getting these runs from? Keep the pressure on.
Do you think they'd be playing like this if lunch wasn't 10 minutes away as well? Do you think that's just in their mind? 2 catching fielders in the covers now as Hartley. This is a good ball from Hartley, which pitches middle. It moves a fraction, and Gill just covers the line and hits it down the track.
I think Jadeja is batting for the softball, and I've seen him do this so many times before, and I think Gill just is a little bit nervous about coming down the wicket and playing his best shots, straight. And I think that's the issue right at the moment.
Well, England want him to play those shots. They want him coming down the track. This is played through to mid-wicket. Hartley not quite getting his line right for the final ball of his over. 77 runs needed for India here on TalkSport 2 and TalkSport. Shubman Gill and Ravindra Jadeja at the crease. The 3 wickets to fall this morning. Jaiswal caught brilliantly at short third by Jimmy Anderson, running in after an ill-advised swipe at a Joe Root delivery which turned out of the pitch. He went for 37, 84 for 1 at that stage. Became 99 for 2 when Rohit Sharma was given out stumped from the bowling of Tom Hartley. But actually, that decision may have been overturned to caught behind, because he did edge it. He went past 50, and then a brilliant catch at short leg by Ollie Pope, diving two-handed to his right. Had to make up a lot of ground. Patidar departing with a duck. 115 for 3 now, though, as Bashir is in again, as Shubman Gill does use his feet. Come down the track and just pump this to shortish mid-wicket.
Say what you will, but Sarfaraz could not look more relaxed for a guy in his 3rd test about to come in. What could be a tricky situation. He's just chilling out. Siraj is playing with his hair. They look, the change room look a lot more confident than the 2 guys in the middle do at the moment.
Maybe they're just looking forward to lunch. Shubman Gill forward again, covering the line again, with the leg slip in place. I mean, he looks pretty composed to me. He's faced 51 deliveries now. He's got used to the conditions.
Oh, I think Gill's maybe the most comfortable out there of anyone, but Jadeja's still looking quite nervy at the other end.
Here is Bashir. Trapping Gill on the pads. There's a huge shout from behind the wicket by Ben Folkes, but Bashir doesn't really go up. He thinks this is going down leg, and they will not review.
Someone's got to talk to this kid. What is all this honesty? Telling people that it might not be out. Stuart Broad's like already said to you DMs, isn't he? Go, come on, mate.
Round the wicket again, Bashir. And there's a little bit more bounce from this delivery, which is again straight, and it's asking questions of Gill, who just pushes the ball into the leg side, deals with it with confidence. He's coming into this test match with runs. There was a lot of pressure on him earlier on in the series, but that 100 after he overcame a real nervy start, and a couple of umpires' calls went his way. God, what England would do for another here just before the lunch break. Get rid of Jadeja. Go in with India 4 down. Still 70 runs to get. Turning ball as Gill is brought forward, and he's playing at a ball that is actually going across him. Doesn't need to play this delivery, and he's playing it to the leg side as well. So there was plenty in play there, but he got enough bat on it. Can't beat the fielder. And there are a lot of fielders close to both batters right now. 77 runs to win. The series on the line for England. And this is flatter and punched into the offside. Gill sets off for a run, and Jadeja sends him straight back. Bairstow firing the ball back to Folkes. Stumps dismantled, but no threat in the end. Another maiden for young Bashir. We've got 6 minutes until the lunch break. India have lost 3 wickets in the session. They're 115 for 3. And they need 77 runs to win here on TalkSport 2 and TalkSport.
Now, Gerard said, Gill has looked comfortable, but he's going nowhere. He looks assured. The way he's going nowhere, there's still going to be pressure. He will feel it as well, as you say. Series on the line. If they win it, obviously they go into a 3-1 lead and they'll win the series. But we know the pressure of playing for India. We know what the media, social media is out there. They wouldn't want to be that individual that gets lambasted in the media for making a mistake. So it brings its own pressure. So as you say, if England can get a wicket now before lunch, all the pressure for me will be on India.
5 minutes to go until the lunch break. Can England take one more? That would really set them up. Joe Root is going to be called back into the attack. It was his wicket of Jaiswal that has brought England back into contention, I suppose you could say. He was thrown the new ball last night. And it's Jadeja who's facing with a slip in place, and this is a fraction too straight. And Jadeja is happy to get off strike, just pushing the ball up to mid-on. And India move to 116 for 3. Joe Root, who only bowled the 1 over in India's first innings. And this is the start of his 6th. Century with England 112 for 5 at lunch on day 1. Unbeaten, 122. And Root is in with Gill coming forward, pushing this to mid-on, no run. Just seemed like the pressure was starting to ease about 45 minutes into this session with Jaiswal and Rohit Sharma not scoring as fluently as they did last night, but certainly putting India into a superb position. This is full from Root, and down the track is Gill, but Root fields from his own bowling. And it's another tidy over so far. Stokes just slowing things down again. What's he doing here, Jared? Is he calling the fielder in? Yeah, he is. He's calling deep square in, isn't he?
Yeah, I wondered if he wanted an extra helmet, actually, to have 2 fielders in close, but he seems to have changed that. Maybe leg slip. Oh, yeah, it's leg gully and a very short catcher who's not got a helmet on at almost short square leg.
Round the wicket is Root. And Gill is playing this straight back to the bowler.
Tudes, I reckon Stokes went as close as he could without having to get the helmet to come out then, because if he had to get the helmet out, there would have been a delay. And he couldn't have got much closer on that ball without someone going, mate, should you not have the lid on?
Square leg coming in, mid-wicket going out. Leg stump line from Root. He's clipping this to Bashir at mid-wicket, and comes through for a single. 75 runs to win for India. England needs 7 wickets. And are we going to get another over in before the lunch break?
Good batting there as well. These two are both good athletes, good runners between the wicket. There was a mix-up last over, I think, or the over before, but they're quick and He went straight on that call, Jadeja.
Last ball of the over. It's a little bit of a drag down, actually, and keeps low. And Jadeja gets himself in a horrible position to play it. Almost on his knees as it gets to him. But there's no damage done.
I don't think he kept low. I think he went low.
No, he just went low, yeah.
And that's like he was going to sweep it, but I'm not even sure he was going to sweep it. Shoots. It's like he got in the position to sweep, but never actually thought about the shot.
Yeah, it was a weird one. Got himself in an awkward position.
I think he was getting into position to sweep and then thought, hang on, what am I doing?
Pulled out.
I don't want to be sweeping 1 minute before the lunch break.
Don't be walking back with the England boys behind you. They'll be letting you know about it.
So it looks like we will get one final over before the lunch break. It's going to be bowled by Bashir, and it's Shubman Gill facing. And Gill once again using his feet well. The ball that's going across the right-hander. Just seeing a replay of that strange shot from Ravindra Jadeja in the last over. He'll be quite happy just to stay at the non-strikers end now, I imagine, and he'll stay there for this delivery, which is again sees Gill coming forward, using his feet well. Just seeing a replay from Jadeja's dismissal in the first innings, and this is misdirected by Bashir. A little bit too leg side, and it allows Gill just to swivel and help the ball round the corner for a single. 74 runs needed then for India. England have 3 balls to remove either Jadeja or Gill before the lunch break. Bashir's picked up 1. You can just imagine the body language of England if they were to get a wicket here right now. 118 for 4 would give them so much hope. They've bowled really well this morning, and in fairness, India have batted well as well. It's been a really good contest as Gill tries to play this ball past Bairstow. So, fraction shorter. Bairstow does well just to cut the ball off. Keeps Jadeja on strike. 1 run from the over. 2 balls to go until the lunch break. 2 slips in place. Ollie Pope's on his knees, helmet on. Almost like he's playing with a toddler. And here is Bashir, and he beats the outside edge of Jadeja's bat. Comes forward to defend the line, and it keeps going straight. Ollie Pope has got up off his feet, off his knees rather, and is he going round to short leg? Or leg slip, we'll see in a second. 118 for 3 it is then. India starting the day 40 without loss, losing 3 wickets, both openers and their number 4 bat padded up. The wickets going the way of Bashir, Hartley and Root. And the field has been brought in. 2 slips now in place. There is a short leg catching cover. Bashir, a couple of steps into his run-up, just aborts. And now he's ready. And he's in. Wideish of the crease, and he gets Bashir, gets Jadeja playing back, and with the bat outside the line, but the ball bounces down, it's fielded at slip, and that brings to an end an enthralling and competitive session of cricket, which started the way of India, went the way of England, and has been a stalemate ever since. Brilliant cricket, Tudes. The series just about still alive. You'd rather be in India's position than England's, but England have done a lot of work. They would have loved 1 more, but they've done just enough to keep themselves in the hunt.
Yeah, they have, Johnny. They can be happy with their work this morning. 78 runs, but 3 wickets, 3 crucial wickets for England. That gives them that belief. As you said, you'd rather be in Indians' camp at the minute. But a couple of wickets straight after lunch, and it is game on for me. Get one of these 2. You've got some youngsters coming in behind, and anything is possible. They've bowled really well, England. Young Bashir, as you said, learning on the job, not even in double figures in first-class cricket. under his scalp. So he's sort of learning on the job. Hartley's bowled better this morning. But a lot of full tosses, a bit under pressure maybe, bowling with that new ball. But he seemed better. There was a better grouping of the balls where they were landing, and they just got that belief. They can enjoy their lunch and then they go again.
Yep, you can just imagine what the chat will be in the dressing room. One push. It's unlikely to think we're going to see tea, right? Whatever happens, because India are going to score 74 runs in the next 2 hours. You'd think.
But the runs dried up a little bit, haven't they, Johnny? You know, England have bowled well. They're a little bit nervous. You can see, as you said, the batters are facing balls. Padadar, he didn't face too many, only 6 deliveries, but everyone else has been able. So even though there's stuff, even though it's a fourth day wicket, and the ball is misbehaving a little bit, it's not happening a lot and it's not happening fast. So you're able to occupy the crease. But they just need a bit of magic, maybe from Ben Foakes behind the stumps, who just, for me, just keeps putting on an exhibition. Definitely, for me, the best keeper in the world. And even Adam Gilchrist said it last Test match, that for him, he's the best. And he is, and he just makes it look so easy. So having him behind the stumps, you know, you make a mistake, and the Indian batters would know about it. They make a mistake, they're going to be gone. So a quick 2 wickets, Johnny, and I'll tell you, they will be feeling it, the pressure beyond, because the Indian fans be thinking, listen, let's make it 3-1, let's win this series. If it goes to 2-2,
A very good morning to you. Welcome along this Monday morning. It is bright and early in the UK, but we've had 2 hours of play already in Ranchi, and this cricket game, well, realistically, it's moving into its final session, because India need only 74 more runs to win, while England need 7 more wickets. So got a funny feeling this might be the final 2 hours of this Test match. So thank you very much for joining us here on TalkSport 2 and on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. I'm Andrew McKenna. I'll be in the commentary chair for the first 20 minutes of this session as Shubman Gill and Ravindra Jadeja resume their innings. Shubman Gill's 18 not out from 62 balls. Ravindra Jadeja 3 from 29. The batters removed this morning. Jaiswal for 37 by Root, caught by Anderson. Rohit Sharma stumped by Foakes off the bowling of Hartley for 55. It was 84 for 1, 99 for 2 and 100 for 3 as Patidar was caught at short leg by Pope off the bowling of Bashir. Those last 2 wickets coming in the space of an over and a half. So it took a while for the breakthrough to come this morning, and then they've had 2 more since. The former England fast bowler Alex Tudor is alongside me for the first part of the afternoon session, and England still just need to hang in there, Alex. 74 is still a decent amount away, and the ball's going to get soft pretty quickly.
Yeah, morning everybody. If you missed out on that first session, I think we got a good session coming up. As Macca said, I think it'll be the last session of this game, but still lots riding on it. England get 2 quick wickets. You're going to hear the noise is going to go up, the noise level. The Indian fans maybe not so much, but England will be. They can just get 2 wickets.
Well, you've just been on TalkSport. You're on TalkSport again, because welcome along, TalkSport listeners, and joining Tudes and myself, Andrew McKenna, on the commentary for the first ball after lunch. It's going to be Tom Hartley, left arm around, taken on the pad is Shubman Gill. Looks like that one's drifting down the leg side, so it's only half an appeal from an England point of view. But if nothing else, Tudes, just to get it a throat clearer after the lunch break, it's not a bad one, is it?
It's not a bad one, and Tom Hartley's definitely bowled better than he did yesterday. Last night, should I say.
1 for 40 to his name at the moment. This one is worked on the leg side from Shubman Gill off middle stump. He will take a single. He goes to 19. It's 119 for 3. India's target is 73 more runs.
He's had more control, better grouping where he's landing it. Asked questions of these Indian batters. Jadeja's in. He's faced 29 balls. He's only got 3. So it's not his normal pace. But he understands the situation, the pressure. He's been here before. So England would love to get his wicket. Get young Shafraz Khan in. He's not got a lot of experience in international cricket.
And you've got a funny feeling he's going to come in and play like a millionaire. It might be that he's going to try and take it on. That will give England a chance if they can get through to him. Jadeja's on strike to Hartley, pitching round about leg stump. Push back to the bowler, no run. And we mentioned that the ball is now starting to get slightly softer. That means it will be a slower scoring rate for England. India, it will be harder for them to score. So that again will bring increased pressure. Hartley around the wicket. Jadeja's deep in his crease, pushes into the offside, sets off for a single that's never there to Bairstow, and Shubman Gill sends him back. And again, that just proves the point, Alex, isn't it? It's pressure.
Yeah, he was like that before for lunch. Just, guiding it. I mean, he is rapid. I mean, he's 35, but he is rapid. But there's never a single there.
Hartley goes in. Oh, it's a lowish full toss. And it will be clipped safely to Duckett at long on, so it's just a single. England have got an in-out field, which if you don't understand the terminology of that, fielders close in catching, but then the defensive ring around the edge just to cover up in case of any potential big shots. There's a slip, a short extra cover as Hartley goes in, middle of Shubman Gill's bat, pushing back down the wicket, no run, and there's an extra cover as well. End of the over then here on TalkSport, TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. India 120 for 3. They need 72 more runs to win the game. England need 7 wickets. Jared Kimber, our analyst.
Soham from CricViz has sent this through. This is fascinating. So the first session of every day, in the first hour, there's been 192 runs scored for 5 wickets. The second hour, there's been 171 runs scored for 10 wickets. And it's been a new ball. I think the new ball's been used in that first session almost every time. So it's not a situation of anything to do with that. It's just that my guess is, and this is a guess, as the sun comes up a little bit stronger, that the cracks maybe just get a little bit wider, or maybe the pitch gets a little bit harder, however you want to look at that.
Bashir for the second over after lunch starts with a full toss. Jadeja's hit it straight to Bairstow. Bonus wicket for England. Jadeja can't believe what he's done. He's standing there. Is he trying to say that it's not carried to Bairstow, or is it just pure disappointment? The umpires are getting together to have a conversation, but England think they've got their man. They think they've got the fourth. This is going to go to Joel Wilson, the third umpire, on replay. Jadeja's trudging off. He's given up the ghost already. But I think we will double check. No, maybe not. The umpires have said they are happy after all. India are 4 down. 120 for 4 so soon after the break.
Well, this is what England wanted and England fans wanted to hear. It's a low full toss. It's a great low catch from Johnny Bairstow. I can't stress that enough. Down to his left. It's fantastic. Got his hands underneath it. What a bonus wicket for young Bashir. He can't do anything wrong in this test match so far. India 4 down. That is a big wicket, especially the way that Jadeja can play and his experience. He's gone for 4. India 120 for 4. Game on.
Well, Jadeja trudges up the steps. Can't believe he's done that. Now it is Sarfraz coming in, and as I mentioned, he's played with a certain style in his innings so far. In the first innings here he got 14 from 43 balls, but of course in Rajkot in the second innings 68 from 72. In the first innings in Rajkot 62 from 66. England have a new man at the crease. That's what they need to. That's why you need to keep regularly taking wickets, to get someone new to the crease. Once you get used to the pace and the bounce, it gets that little bit easier. If you're newer to the crease, it's not as easy. Bashir has 2 for 40. He took 5 in the first innings. He might not need to get 5 in the second, but it could be absolutely vital. England 2-1 down in the series. They have to win this test if they want to have a chance of winning the series overall. Bashir to come into Sarfraz, the right-hander, first ball. It's claimed into the leg side. England think they've got 2 in 2. Umpire's not moved. Ben Stokes says to everyone, calm down, we are reviewing this one.
He says, calm down, and then he reviews it straight away without talking to anyone on the field.
I love that. That's control of the situation from Ben Stokes.
We have a player review for court. The original decision is not out. I've checked the feet. It's a fair delivery. Front on, please.
First ball, Sarfraz turns it to Ollie Pope at short leg, or does he? That's the million-dollar question. Here we go. First replay. He's coming forward.
Oh, yes.
It's passing very close to
There's an
bat
edge.
and-
I'm sure there's an
Can I
edge.
get ultra edge, please?
I think that's an inside edge.
It certainly seems to deflect, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
That changes direction.
Yeah, that's gone. That's gone for me.
I wouldn't mind seeing it from front on as well, just because this is a weird angle. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it just looks like it's deflecting a good amount.
We're sort of at wide mid-off, aren't we?
There we go.
Yeah, take it out and bring it back.
Right, we've got a waveform as it's next to the bat.
Yes, I have a spike. Balls on bat. Kumar, you'll have to reverse your original decision of not out or out. Stand by.
This is incredible. Because this is the point when India probably just needed 20 minutes of blocking the ball. You've got a full toss to Jadeja. So many full tosses have just been dispatched. He gets a full toss, he flicks it straight to short mid wicket, and England get a complete bonus wicket. And then Sarfraz, before he even walks out, is leaving. Just a huge moment for this game. And this series will not quit, Tudes. This series will not quit.
That's why you need to tune in, people. I know you might be getting ready, having your breakfast, going to work, but you need to tune in. TalkSport 2 is where it's at.
Bashir has 2 in 2. Sarfraz caught by Pope at short leg, first ball, and that's the second really good catch from Ollie Pope, by the way. And Bashir is on a hat-trick. Bashir is on a hat-trick. England need 5 wickets to win. 120 for 5. We've been telling you since 4 o'clock this morning this was not a formality. 150 runs on this pitch were going to take some getting. I'm not saying that England will win this, but I'm saying it was not a walk in the park. And India have proved this. Even though Rohit made 55, Jaiswal 37, it just needed 1 wicket to open things up. Now, Jurel is the new batter. He made 90 in the first innings. He was last man out. He's just got to the crease and he's taken a huge, deep breath just to focus himself. Right, hat-trick ball, and England are going to go short leg. Stokes, I was about to say was going to go to leg slip. And Ollie Pope will be at backward short leg now. Welcome back, TalkSport listeners. Look, you might as well just stay with us. Honestly, just stay with us.
Ali asked for 2, Macca, when I was up there.
Did he?
Great Ali McCoy, he asked for 2. He's got 2.
Well, there you go. Would you like 3, Ali? Bashir is on a hat-trick. Short leg slip, and slip in place. Bashir goes in and bowls. He's taking him on the bat. Big appeal for LBW just outside the line.
Show Bashir's just, I'm sorry, you're on a hat-trick, mate. You've got to show more enthusiasm there. Ask for a review, even if you know it's not out.
I mean, it's a good delivery.
It's an inside edge. It's an inside edge. He's
Doesn't
outside
matter.
the line. Other than that, it's a great shout.
Doesn't matter.
But it's spinning. It's going. England have a chance. You know what they say, it's the hope that kills you, folks, but I'll take that right now. Bashir, right arm over. Jurel solidly forward, pushing out to Ben Stokes, who is at short mid-wicket, no run.
For me, Mac, I know he's only come in, but I've been so impressed with young Jurel. If England get him now, I'm telling you, the belief is going to be definitely there. Even though Shubman Gill's there, he's not really going anywhere fast. If they can get Jurel out now, I'll tell you.
Bashir is in, right arm over the wicket. Jurel uses his feet, plays a nice shot, gets it to Ben Duckett at long on, and a single is taken. You can tell the Indian fans are concerned. They're now really throatily cheering singles that reduce it to 71 needed.
I mean, what a story this could be for young Bashir. As you said, he's not had much experience. 5 for in the first innings. He's got 3 in the second. Could he get his first 10 for to win England a game?
God blimey, calm down, Chiefs. Bashir around the wicket. Shubman Gill uses his feet, comes down the pitch to meet that one, plays it defensively. There is no run. 121 for 5. So India needs 71 runs. England need 5. Rather be. Well, I'm quite happy where I am at the moment.
Yeah, listen, you know, at lunch we said you would rather be in India's position. That's when they had 7 wickets in hand. They've only got 5 now. And then you're nearly into the bowlers. Yes, Ashwin is a good lower order player, but then you're in, and it's a different pressure to win a game. The ball's turning. Young Bashir, Hartley are bowling well. England are buoyant. I think it's half and half. You just throw a coin in heads or tails, isn't it, really? Whatever.
Would you like a quirk at this time of the morning? After tea, first ball after tea, Johnny Bairstow gets out. 120 for 6. It's 121 for 5. India, as Jurel gets a ball from Hartley, left arm around the wicket, hits it back to the bowler. Well, of course, England collapsed to 145 as they lost 2 wickets in 3 balls on 120. India have lost 2 wickets in 2 balls on 120. Hartley, left arm around the wicket, brings Jurel forward. It takes the outside edge. It goes wide of Roots. Bashir will go screaming after it towards the 3rd boundary. They'll take a couple. 69 to win, 120 for 5.
It's exciting, isn't it? This is what it's about. When it gets to the latter stages of the match, it's for a toss of a coin either way where it can go. But it's going down to the wire, that is for sure. We've got a classic here.
This whole series has been brilliant, hasn't it? In goes Hartley, deep in his creases, Jurel turns it past Bairstow at mid-wicket. Bairstow sprints after it. They will take a couple. Bairstow returns into Ben Folkes. 67 more needed for India. 5 more wickets for England. Jurel is 5 from 6 balls. And Shubman Gill is 19 at the other end.
I mean, I keep waxing lyrical about Ben Folkes. It wasn't a great throw from Bairstow. He just cleaned it up like, nah, don't worry about it. Just melts in those gloves.
Hartley, left arm around, slightly shorter. Jurel, short arm jab, hits to mid-on. And for a moment, Shubman Gill is setting off for a run that's not there from the non-striker's end. Zak Crawley didn't pick it up cleanly at mid-on. Otherwise, that would have been it. Actually, do you know what? It wasn't. It was Jurel. He started and then stopped, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's a yes-no. He's called that straight away and then realised that it's not there. Crawley takes that cleanly.
Hartley in once again. Jurel takes it from middle, hits to Crawley at mid-on, and will take a single. 66 more for India to win. 126 for 5.
It's funny, isn't it, what pressure brings? Indecision.
Dan Lawrence is doing some more 12-man duties. I'm not sure who's off at the moment.
I think Jimmy. Jimmy may be off.
Could well be. Hartley around the wicket. Takes Shubman Gill on the pad. That's surely leg side-ish, though. Shubman Gill's probably batting on leg stump there. We could see all of off stump and pretty much most of middle. Had to be leg stump or potentially just outside. England do have 2 reviews left. India's still got all 3. It's the end of the over. TalkSport 2, TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. 126 for 5. So 5 more wickets for England for a very, very special victory, or 66 more runs for India for likewise.
What more do you need on a Monday morning as you arise? England in a battle here, in a game. One that, after the way they batted in the second innings, most probably didn't deserve, but you've got to believe. Got to keep going, and under Ben Stokes, that is for sure what is happening. India 126 for 5. England need 5 wickets.
And go back to Bashir. 3 for 41 to his name so far. Goes in and bowls. Jurel from the crease line. Plays it just with a dead bat. Folkes will go round from behind the stumps and collect it. Well, Ben Stokes has called the selection absolutely right for this game. He said before the match, Bashir's extra height and bounce might be what England need. Well, he's bowled really well. Bashir goes in. Really well played by Jurel, actually. He's clipped it to Ben Duckett at long on. England have got a man close in at very straight mid-wicket. It's not that far away from him, but with the minimum of fuss, clips it down to long on, takes a single, it's down to 65 to win.
I'm no Ben Stokes, but I'd most probably have long on or up and tempt him. Yes, he might hit a couple, but he might get a wicket. I know you want to save the boundaries.
Would you bring him in 10, 15 maybe then, and give him the carrot? Shubman Gill waits. He's not really played big shots so far. He's 19 from 67. Waits for Bashir. Comes around the wicket. Shubman Gill uses his feet to get to this one. Will clip to Ollie Robinson, who's out at deep mid-wicket. Single taken. Shubman Gill goes to 20. 65 more needed.
But they're not getting away, Mako, and that's important for England. And Ben Stokes, they're not getting away, so he's saving those boundaries. As you say, they just need 5 magic deliveries. 5 balls, something to happen, a brilliant catch, a run out, anything to get him back in this contest.
And 5 of them on the crack and see what happens. Bashir around the wicket. Jarrell defending. No run back down the pitch.
I mean, he's only been in for 11 balls, but already Jarrell, he's just like he's batting on a different wicket. He really is special. You can see why Indian fans and selectors love him.
There's so much more confidence about him compared to KS Barrett earlier in the series. This from Bashir is wide of leg stump, playing away from his body down the leg side and does well to keep it down and keeps it away from Ollie Pope. They will take a single, 63 to win, 129 for 5.
He's got good back crease. Looks like he knows his game extremely well for once a young. But as they do, they have an absolute catalogue of quality batters in India, and he's just another one.
Shubman Gill in the cap, waits for Bashir, comes to meet that one on the half volley, turns it around to Ollie Robinson out at deep mid-wicket, and will take a single. End of the over. So 62 to win for India, 130 for 5. As England need 5 more wickets, and Shubman Gill will keep the bowling. 21 from 69. Jarrell's got 8 from 12. India starting the day 40 without loss. They reached lunch 118 for 3, so 78 for 3 in the morning session. Was still 74 more to win. It's now 130 for 5. So 2 wickets in this 20 minutes so far. And only 12 runs.
Are you on 18 now, Matt? You were 16?
I think I might well be, yes. Hartley is in and bowls, clipped through mid-wicket. Zak Crawley will do the fielding. And it's just a single, 61 to win. India 131 for 5.
England leading wicket taker, Andrew McKenna. Absolute fire he's on.
18 out of 35 in the match. Somewhat embarrassing. Jarrell waits for Hartley, left arm around, brings his man forward, plays him back defensively, and there's no run.
I'm going to have to start nicknaming you Highlight.
You can hear Ben Folkes behind the stumps encouraging Hartley. He stands, then walks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps before 1, 2, 3, bouncing on. Oh, and it keeps low and goes past the outside edge of Jarrell's bat. Folkes does well, he whips off the bails just in case. But that one, shin height at best. And that's what we're talking about. Get enough balls in the right place often enough, something's going to happen.
I mean, I can't stress how good this take is. The ball kept low. Ben Folkes is a tall man, and he's just grabbed it and just taken the stumps all in one motion.
And he's going back down again. That's the thing. Hartley, left arm around. He's playing leg sides, staying leg side of the ball to play out on the offside. Yeah, it's only a spinner bowling, but the ball is actually on its way down again to Folkes as it goes past the bat.
And he is 6 foot plus, people. He's at least 6'3".
Yeah, he's not your 5'7" traditional keeper.
It really is an exhibition every time he's behind the stumps, and just makes it look clean. No fuss, just does his job.
Hartley, left arm around. Jarrell coming forward, defends. There's no run, there's 2 balls left in the over. I've just worked out why I might have had so many wickets in the game. I just realised I've overstayed my welcome. So I've nicked one of John Norman's. That's maybe a reason.
He's telling you to stay. The boss man is telling you to stay.
Hartley for the final time this over then. Left arm around. It's a return catch. No, it's just short of Hartley. He's picked it up brilliantly on the half volley to stop any runs, but it was just short of the catch. So 42 overs gone, 131 for 5 are India. 5 more wickets for England, 61 more runs. John Norman will do the next 20 minutes.
This England team are on it. They can sense something. They really have been brilliant this morning. India feeling the pressure as they would do, 5 down, especially with this great start that they had from Rohit Sharma and Jaiswal. But since then, England have bounced back extremely well. And this pressure, and it's 2 young England spinners who've not got a lot of experience that are turning the tide. Young Bashir's got 8 for in the game so far, 3 for 45 in his second innings of 17 overs. Is looking everything that they expected when they picked him. It was a gut feeling, but it's the right one at the minute.
Certainly is, and it is Bashir. Start of his 18th over, 3 for 45, and he is in with Gill coming down the track and defending to Ben Stokes, who seems to be everywhere. He's as close, he's on the leg side, he's on the offside, he's pretty much everywhere. And England close to picking up another wicket there in the last over from Hartley. Gill, this squirts off the outside edge of the bat as he gropes forward. And there's that man again, Ben Stokes, running from the covers. Actually, no, it's Joe Root on this occasion, the former skipper, who's running around from slip to field and just prevent a second run. What a match this has been, what a series. India now 5 down. 2 wickets since the lunch break, 2 in 2 balls, bowled by a guy that was struggling to get into Somerset's team last season. Down the track again, this time it's Jurel. What an innings he provided us. One of the reasons India are still in this contest. 90 in first innings, battled away, got his side within touching distance of England's first innings score as Bashir is in and he's targeting the pads here, but Jurel clips this away. Fine of the wicket. Hartley will come in from the boundary. And it's another run. 59 needed, Tudes.
It's a long way off, isn't it? 59 seems a long way off. Disturbance in the pitch again.
There's a leg slip now for Gill. Actually, a leg gully. As he's coming forward, he's trying to get forward as much as possible. 1 ball left of Bashir's over. Shubman Gill, who walked out from lunch with his brilliant blue cap on, wearing in the helmet for his innings before the break, and this time he plays and stays deep in his crease, fielded at short leg by Ollie Pope, who's picked up 2 catches so far today. And India here on TalkSport 2 need 59 runs to win the test and take the series, and England need 5 wickets.
I don't know, really, you asked the question, what camp would you want to be in? Before lunch, definitely you would say India. 5 wickets, young Jurel, Gill in, you get one of these 2, I think it opens up an end. I know Ashwin is a good player, but I think it opens up an end and England will smell danger and they'll go for the kill.
Yeah, I think 1 more wicket and suddenly you'd rather be in England's position, just as Hartley is in, and this is a big shot, and Bashir, who is at short third, I don't think he sees where this ball is going. He's caught on his heels. If he commits, if he runs forward and to his right, then I think the catch is there for the taking. It's a thick outside edge. It's similar to the dismissal we saw of Jaiswal earlier on today, but Bashir's lost it in the flight, and the chance has just dropped short.
I don't think he was ever going to get there, to be fair, Johnny. But Jurel's heart would have been in his mouth. Little bit of a life there. Loose shot out of the rough.
Very loose shot, and just signs that the pressure is mounting on India. This time Jurel plays off the back foot and pushes this ball back to the bowler, Hartley. Yeah, maybe it just did drop short, but Bashir did seem to lose the flight somewhat. It's difficult to switch on and off, or just to keep switched on between overs when you're bowling. And sure, as this time, Jarrell really forward, the ball turning away from the right-hander, but he smothers it and he stays on strike. A nervy moment for Jarrell in this over. 59 runs needed for India. As Hartley this time squares Jarrell up a touch. Point fielder comes in.
Brilliant, Tommy, brilliant, Tommy. Awesome, bud.
And I think the England fielders are making more noise than the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd have gone down. They can sense that their team are under pressure. Wasn't like that for them at the beginning of the game.
Stokes and Pope in the covers. It's going to touch straighter. And that's how Jarrell plays this delivery from the left arm of Tom Hartley. Coming round the wicket to the right-hander.
Come on, fellas, here we go, boys.
Just trying to get it, ball to land on one of those cracks that have caused quite a few problems throughout this test match. We saw one go very low a couple of overs back. This is 2-4 though from Hartley, and Jarrell will take a single to Zak Crawley at long on, and that is the end of the over. Jarrell just stares to the heavens. It's not been a bright day. We haven't seen the sun in the way that we have in the first 3 test matches. It's been a little bit gloomy at times. 14 runs added for the 6th wicket between Jarrell, who's playing in just his 2nd test match, Shubman Gill, and Bashir, who just seems to have grown in stature as over the course of this series. Three wickets from him, the last 3 to go. Patidar before the lunch break, and then Jadeja and Sarfaraz Khan. 2 in 2 balls that have brought England back into this contest as Jarrell plays deep in his crease and clips his ball past mid-wicket, but there is a fielder mopping up, so it'll just be another single as Alex Tudor is replaced by Steve Harmison in the commentary box. We were outside when those 2 wickets fell, weren't we, Harmy? That's what England needed. Remember that Bairstow dismissal, first ball after the tea break last night, as Gill again using his feet well here. Just sets the tone for the session. If it does. A couple of loose ones, a couple of boundaries, just sort of release the pressure early.
That's exactly what it does, and it just puts pressure on the batting unit. It's like 2 hours now we've got where we've started, not in a hole, but we've started under pressure, and can we alleviate it by putting a partnership together?
Down the track again, he plays straight. This is a nice, smart bit of fielding to his right, Bashir again. You know, I reckon in the first innings of his first test, maybe the second innings, he would have possibly fumbled that, would have gone away, would have been a single, release of pressure. But he has fielded that well, and he's back at the top of his mark, and he's ready to go again. And his
body language is completely different, isn't it?
Oh, it is, isn't it? Touch of whip this time. This is dabbed down nicely, actually, to backward point. There's no fielder there, so Joe Root has to run around from slip, and it's another run.
Yeah, his body language is completely different, and that's not having a go at anything he did in the first test. I just think that's a natural progression of making your debut as a young man, and all the stuff that went through with the visa and everything before. He now, you know, this team really has bonded with Shoaib Bashir, made him feel comfortable, made him feel welcome. You know, he's captained by a fantastic human being who has really known how to deal with this youngster.
Over the wicket is Bashir, and again it's a good ball on a decent length, which has Jarrell playing watchfully on the back foot, and he plays defensively as well.
The Baz ball, they talk about the Baz ball, the Baz ball mentality. And the way I see it is the captain, the coach, gets the best out of every individual, and the best he can get out of Shoaib Bashir is definitely coming through at this minute.
Again, this is just a touch of width, and Jarrell targeting the space through point, but Root is alert to this and scampers across, and just make sure that there's no run added to India's score. 136 for 5 if you're just joining us on TalkSport 2 or via the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. Head over there and hit subscribe. There's loads up there. Following on podcast is put up there following play. You've got Jared Kimber's super over. Looks back at the 6. Well, he's going to have his work cut out today, I imagine. 6 defining moments from the day's play. He'll be with Harmy on that. We'll have player interviews. We'll hear from Ben Stokes today. It'll be Brendan McCullum tomorrow. But for now, it's Tom Hartley, who, at the start of his 18th over, just tosses one up outside at the off stump of Shubman Gill. A little tempter at the start of the over, but Gill, who's looked pretty composed, to be honest, throughout his 78 ball stay, just says, nah, you bowl to me. That's exactly what Hartley does, and Gill clips this into the offside and scampers through for a quick single and gets off strike. 55 runs to win, 5 wickets needed for England. The game and the series, as things stand, is still alive. We've got an hour and 20 until the tea break, and I'm not sure we're going to see that tea break, Harmy.
No, I think either way, I think the tea break will be, the match presentation.
Here is Hartley, lots of loop, and this is a fraction too full as well. There's a chase for Ben Duckett. He's at long off, and he's got to run around the boundary's edge. And that's another 2 runs to the score. 53 needed for India, and the pressure just starting ever so slowly to be put back on England.
And that tends to happen in run chases. The last 20, if you've got wickets in hand, it comes a little bit quicker. So England really need to make this breakthrough.
Not making it with this delivery, which sees Jarrell on the front foot.
Gill's been very impressive for me throughout this series. He's had 100, he had a 90. He's batted in his own way. He's not come out of his bubble. He doesn't look as though he's get flustered. That's his natural persona, I think. But in Jarrell looks a good player. He really does look a good player.
Well, if there's a Callow England bowling attack, the same can be said for India's batting, as Hartley does draw the outside edge of Jarrell's bat. He's propping forward, but he plays it with soft hands. He plays it low, and the ball, whilst it does head towards Joe Root at first slip, is played into the ground, and it bounces well short.
He's well bowled. He deceived him in flight. He really did deceive him in flight, but he played it really well.
Back, and this is pushed into mid-wicket by Jarrell. I was just saying, it's a Callow England bowling lineup, and they've really impressed. Hartley with a wicket today, 3 for Bashir. The same can be said for India's batting lineup, but where Patidar and Sarfraz both failed, out without scoring a run, Jarrell has really picked up where he left off from that first innings. Jared Kimber.
I was just going to say that I think for me it shows that the pitch is just that little, sorry, not the pitch, the ball's just that little bit softer now. And it goes both ways, because India still need to score 52 runs. We saw Jarrell play that big swipe out of the foot marks, and that part of the reason he took that shot is because the ball was wide, and he's like, well, this is my chance of scoring, and he couldn't get there. So it could be tricky for both sides from here on in. But England are going to have to manufacture wickets maybe a little bit more. They can't, and to be honest, in the second innings, we've almost not seen this, but they can't wait for a ball to run along the ground and bowl someone, because it might run too slowly.
Yeah, the demon's not there as frequent as what it was when it was a little bit harder. The ball has gone soft, but you're right, it is going to be more difficult to score off. But at this minute in time, Jarrell and Gill are staying within their sort of comfort bubble and quite happily just picking off in singles.
Bashir, at the start of his 20th over, he bowled 31 in succession in one spell in the first innings. If he does something similar, then you'd feel England are going to be close. Would indicate that there may be more successes to come. As Jarrell is playing back, there's fielders camped in the leg side close to the bat, but there's a bit more space on the offside, and he's happy to just play the ball in that direction and come through for a single.
And that might, the point you're making, Jared, might come from Ben Stokes. It might have to come from Ben Stokes. He might have to bring a fielder up off the boundary. You might have to try and crowd the batter and say, well, we're not going to give you the single, so you're going to have to play the bigger shot.
Down the track again comes Gill, but it's a defensive shot. There's nothing extravagant about it. Gill is 25 not out, Jarrell 15, the two coming together. Sarfraz dismissed shortly after the lunch break. 2 wickets and 2 balls going the way of young Shoaib Bashir. And it's Bashir who is continuing down the track again. And this time Gill plays the ball a fraction straighter. Fielder back on the boundary, one of the few at long on, and it's 50 now needed for India.
50 to win. England are quite happy at this moment in time going in singles, and Stokes might have to bring one of them fielders straight up, one backward point possibly up, and say, well, we're not going to give you that comfortable single. You might have to play the big shot and hope that they give the wicket away, and that's how England get into what is the lower order.
2 balls left to Bashir's 20th over, 3 for 51. Picked up a 5 in first innings. Just imagine if he was to do that again. A little bit of a hurry up this time as Jarrell again playing deep in his crease, and he quickly has to get the bat round the front of the pads as this skips on a touch, and there's a little bit of a chat going on out between Bashir and short leg and the keeper. Last ball of the over. He's given Jarrell some width. There's no protection on the cover boundary. Jarrell follows through with the shot, and it's 4 runs to the score. The crowd given something to cheer about. It's been pretty stressful for the Indian cricket fans in the ground at Ranchi. It's just been released a touch. 46 needed now for India. The 20th over. India 146 for 5. Jarrell has moved to 19, and Shubman Gill will face the first ball of over number 48. 26 not out.
Yeah, good shot from Jarrell, and they're just starting to find their voice now, John, and I've just noticed that in my ears that there's a little bit more volume in the voice of the Indian supporters. Been very, very nervous.
Hartley is back, and again Shubman Gill allowed to come forward and push this ball towards mid-wicket. Fielder's back, so he comes through for a single. 185 deliveries since the last boundary.
Yeah. And that's testament to the way England have bowled, and Ben Stokes has held his field, and the way England have fielded as well.
There's a catching cover. It's Stokes at short extra as Jarrell pushes this to point and is sent back by Shubman Gill. 45 runs needed. Surely it's just Ben Stokes that makes us believe that England can win this, isn't it?
Yeah, I wonder if he's thinking, is there any reverse swing out there? Is he thinking of Anderson? Is he thinking of himself?
Well, I was going to ask you the question. This is a touch flatter, faster by Hartley, but it's a touch too straight and easily dealt with by the batter.
I think he's still got a little bit to play with. I don't think he's in last chance saloon just yet, but I think 15-20 more runs, and then I think India win it in a crack. A couple of overs, they come and be a bit more aggressive.
Just one slip in place for the right-handed Jarrell, who props forward, pushes this delivery to Ben Stokes at short extra cover. Are we going to see Ben Stokes bowl?
No, I don't think we will. I think if he goes down the reverse swing route, I think he'll have a look and see if Anderson can do it and see if it can move off the straight that way. You'd be thinking about it, I've got no doubt.
Flatter again on the pads. This is skips through, but Jarrell has split the field. There's a square leg and a short mid-wicket. He's got it through both of those. He sends Gill back, or rather Gill sends Jarrell back. Jarrell I think wanted 2. Jarrell's averaging 110 for this test match. Hartley is in, and that's a good-looking defensive prod from Shubman Gill. He's using his height well, stepping down the track, defending. And India need a 44. 2 set batters at the crease. And after a word from Jarrod Kimber, it'll be Neil Manthorpe to take us through the next 20 minutes.
That was the first boundary since the 16th over.
Yeah.
And that is an all soft ball. Yeah, that is the wickets, the tension, the pressure.
Exactly, and like I said before, I think it's Ben Stokes' captaincy has been very, very good. You know, their fielders have fielded very, very well, stopping the ball. You know, there's been a couple of good boundary saves.
Were you on when he did that thing with Jadeja where he had 3 guys on the leg side boundary, but they were all 25 metres in from the boundary? And it was basically saying to Jadeja, you're not going to hit a 4, but if you want to hit a 6, that shot is there for you. It's just little things like that I think have been really smart.
I think England have had to be like that because of the situation of the game. And I think he's getting to that point now where you might have to start bringing people up.
185 balls between the boundaries, wasn't it? That's pushed away Jurel up towards mid-off. Just a question, well, not just a question, it is a question of nerve as well as technique and temperament. There will be shortness of breath amongst the batters, that's for sure. Here's Bashir again, and it's pushed away out towards mid-wicket, fielded by Crawley. England have done very, very well at drying up those the boundary opportunities as much as anything else. I tell you what, the England supporters are really getting behind the team at the moment. They're well aware that another wicket now would just triple the pressure on the home side. This one is pushed away past Ollie Pope at short leg, and he dives to his right, can't stop it. Every single run feels like more than just one run.
That was straight. That was really, really straight. It's a good job he got his bat in the way there, Jurel, because I think he would have been a big appeal if that had gone on to hit the pad. It was a good ball by Shoaib Bashir. You had to get the bat down. Korea just kept a touch low.
Here is Shoaib Bashir once again, and short, a little bit too short, tucked away by Shubman Gill, out towards deep square leg. Tom Hartley comes sprinting in, picks up nicely. He's a gun fielder, Tom Hartley, by the way. Gets a throw in as quickly as he possibly could, got rid of it very quickly, but Gill had committed himself to running 2 and came back to bring up the 150 for India. 151 for 5 now.
Good batting from Shubman Gill. You've seen a perfect gap for him to knock it into. His timing was perfect. You know, the weight of the shot was perfect, and he managed to get back for 2. Good intensity. We're not going to hit boundaries. We'll make sure we maximise every run we possibly can.
Here's Bashir again. Forward comes Shubman Gill, nudging it out towards mid-wicket, fielded by Ben Stokes. 41 runs to win now. Dhruv Jurel in just his second test match, 21 not out from 43 balls. Shubman Gill, who's still, for all his talent and his 3 centuries, still averages under 31 in test match cricket. He's played 22 games. Forward comes Gill once again and pushes this one past Shoaib Bashir, and they again take another run. As I said, every single feels like more like 2. 40 to win, 49 overs gone. I know that this was many ways predictable, Harmy, but Shoaib Bashir really has done the journey from boy to man in this series. He could have gone the other way.
Yeah,
that was a gamble you took.
He really has. I think he's done it in between test matches. I really do, because I think the body language of the young man now compared to what it was, natural, because he's got more confidence that he's playing. He's got overs under his belt, and he feels more comfortable in the surroundings and being around the team hotel and being around the group. I think he's done absolutely brilliant for England. What a selection it's been. Even if it's in a losing cause, it's been a brilliant selection. I think we found a bowler who can bowl, a finger spinner.
Tom Hartley with his left arm over the wicket, pushed away defensively to mid-wicket, no run.
Is an option for many, many years to come, and the quandary is, when it comes back to England, which one do England in play? But that's for another day. I think Hartley and Bashir have really done well on this trip.
Here is Hartley again, and that's nudged away. Again, behind square on the leg side. Hartley knows that for all of his inconsistency in this innings, and it's not been his best, it's certainly not been his most consistent performance, but he'll just have to think back to that ball that he bowled Jurel with when he had made 90. It was a screamer, pitching leg hitting the top of off, and forward comes Gill now driving this one to the captain, England captain, right in the batsman's eye, short mid-off. Along the ground, no run. The tension is absolutely palpable, not just amongst the players on the field, but those watching. It'd be worse for them. And it is for the crowd as well. The England supporters are on their feet cheering, but the Indian supporters are biting their nails. And this one is flicked away through square leg. Substitute Dan Lawrence chases. But again, they come back for 2 more. And if ones feel like twos feel like boundaries. And the target now comes down to 38 runs. 2 more. Shubman Gill moves to 32. Dhruv Jurel has 21. Those 2 wickets in 2 balls. So India slumped from 120 for 3 to 120 for 5. Bashir striking twice. Now his partnership is worth 34. As Gill now a slower one from Hartley, and momentarily he was caught out by that and just tried to punch it through the onside. There was no pace.
Stuck in the pitch, didn't it? It just seemed to stick in the pitch.
Here is Hartley once again, and fires this one in towards the pads. Shubman Gill's able to play it again off the pitch out for another single towards mid-wicket. I wouldn't say the runs are flowing for India, but it's a steady trickle, and that's all they need. 155 for 5.
Yeah, it's all they need. They've worked it nicely, a couple into the gap, run hard into, the conversation between Root and Stokes. Where do we go next? Do we keep this going and hoping that we get a breakthrough with 30 to go, and the last 4 wickets we can get with 30 runs on the board? Jurel and Gill are possibly going the other way and going, right, if we get this to 30, it's do we take a punt, 1 big over, couple of boundaries, and that's it, it's game over. So there's still a hell of a lot of cricket left in this game on both sides. England are still well in this game, even though 37 runs is a lot on this wicket with this soft ball. The problem for the soft ball for England is the ball's not misbehaving half as much as what it was before the break. So England are hoping, I think England are in the minute are waiting for India to make a mistake. I think India are, like you said, just trickling along nicely. So it's in India's hands to lose from me from here, but 1 wicket changes everything.
Now then, it's Shoaib Bashir to continue, and I suspect he will to the end of the innings. And that's short, and it keeps low, and it just about kept out by Shubman Gill. He was thinking of scoring runs, and in the end was just happy to pat it gently straight back to the bowler. He was almost through his shot too quickly there. Change of pace, perhaps. We just had an unscheduled drinks break for the batters between overs before the start of this one. Here's Bashir again, and this one nudged away off the pads behind square. Crawley fields can't prevent the single. Requirement now comes down to 36. I didn't see either batter call for a drink. It wasn't a change of gloves. They did both have a little drink. Shikhar Bharat was the reserve. He was the first choice keeper, but he was the man who brought the water out. They both did have a drink. I can't believe there would have been a message sent out to the batters. I mean, at this stage like this, you just leave them alone.
Dude, but I've just seen Shubman Gill signal for new gloves. He's just his second signal for gloves. He just had a drink. So obviously there was something come out.
Yeah, well, it's what I thought. They pulled away straight to Crawley at square leg. And I was trying to think, because I don't think they called for that.
No, they didn't. They mustn't have, because Shubman Gill has just now called for gloves. So the message would have come out with that. So something's either been sent, a message has been sent out. God don't know what it could be, because India are going nicely.
Bashir in again, turns into the pads, nudged out to square leg, no run.
Declaration?
Yeah, right. I mean, you just wouldn't, would you? Whoever you, captain, coach, you wouldn't send a message out to don't break the concentration. Don't put any more thoughts into their heads. Forward comes Jurel, pushing again defensively on the offside.
You're doing really well.
No, it could easily be a signal. It could be easily a signal to each other. And one of the guys on the bench has thought, "Oh, I need a drink," and run out and miss the miscommunication of the signal.
So actually, he was calling for gloves, and they brought water instead. Bashir in again, turns a quicker one again in towards the pads, the right-hander. Jurel plays it beautifully.
Or he brought him a drink. He bought him a drink with a wet bottle, and now his gloves are wet, so he needs some more gloves. Yeah, it's not a great job to be good at, 12th man. Short leg, 12th man. 2 jobs in cricket you do not want to be good at.
Can you imagine that? He just had. Oh, you brought water, did you? Oh, all right then. He didn't take his gloves off. Condensation on the outside of the bottle.
It's something a bowler would do rather than a batter who loves their kit. A bowler would just pick it up. Go on, give me a gulp. That's it. Thank you very much.
About 7 or 8 degrees warmer today in Ranchi than it was yesterday. It was a cool day yesterday. It barely reached 20 even in the mid-afternoon, but it's high 20s today, and certainly sweaty conditions. 51 overs gone, 156 for 5, 36 to win. Shoaib Bashir has 3 for 60 from 22 overs. Ben Stokes is certainly a man full of belief. He will have been part of. He will have seen games won from less likely situations and positions than this. Tom Hartley is in again, chopped away into the offside. Ollie Pope fields. He's going for the he's going for the dry tactic. I think at the moment Ben Stokes. He's no short legs and no short leg in. There's nobody in around the bat. He's just drying up the runs, trying to apply pressure in that way. Let the Indian batsmen apply their own pressure through lack of runs. Hartley in again. Oh, that's left alone outside the off stump. Full and full enough to be driven actually, but it was a good call from Shubman Gill. Just left it alone. A little bit too wide. The only close catcher apart from Ben Foakes is a slip. There's no short leg. There's, the captain himself is at short mid-off, catching cover. Here's Hartley again. Gill comes forward, and it's Stokes in that position who does the fielding. The other thing is that Hartley and Bashir are both actually not taking very much time between deliveries.
No, that's the beauty about trying to keep the pressure on. If you're going well, you're getting quick in between the over, quick in between the balls, trying to assert yourselves on the opposition batter, and especially when the field is now coming in. You feel as though you're all at one against that one batter, trying to get him to make a mistake.
Nudged away again by Shubman Gill to short cover. Ben Stokes not afraid of a fiddle in the field, of course. He's moving players around all the time, and he's just had to just move a second man behind point on the offside. He's got an offside sweeper as well, so this one is chopped out towards the captain, Stokes, who again does the fielding in that short mid-off position.
I think if you're a vice captain for Ben Stokes, you probably have to do more talking than most vice captains do. He's just constantly asking. Like we just see him out in the field. He's just changed the field. He's brought in the backward point. He's moved the sweeper out to deep cover.
Here is Hartley again, and this one is Shubman Gill is in two minds, really. He doesn't know whether to cut. He just misread the length, and in the end, it's a 45-degree bat just bunted it into the offside. He looks nervous, and so he should be.
And next ball after he moves that field, Ben Stokes, he's talking to Joe Root or Ben Foakes, and he's saying, well, what about this? What if we try this? What if you just made the move? Give it a ball.
I think what he was doing there, the Joe Root one, was he was getting him to bowl. I think Joe Root's coming on to bowl.
Oh, you think?
I think he's coming on to bowl. Yeah,
because it looked like to me he's moving his hands as if to say, should I move this field?
I think he was signaling as that he wants him to bowl. That was the thing with the Root. Trying to change it up. Can India have a go at Joe Root? If you're India, do you go, right, let's take him on? Nice little passage of play here. Something different. Can you get them to make a mistake? From India's point of view, do you try and take Joe Root on and one big shot, one big over, 2 sixes, a couple of fours, and that's it, more or less game over.
Yeah, you make a big dent when you need 36 to win. Just a 6 would make a big difference. Root round the wicket, pitches it up, and it's driven down the ground by Dhruv Jurel, who I have to say, I can't believe he is feeling as calm as he looks, but he's got an Iceman touch about him, Dhruv Jurel, just 23 years old. Ajit Agarkar, the head of selectors, said that he'd been identified as India's next long-term keeper. And he's not disappointed with bat or gloves. And this one in at the pads, short enough for Gill to turn around behind, square on the leg side for another single.
Joe Root does struggle with right-handers in general. Like, he's a much better bowler against left-handers. But in the fourth innings, that's generally when he's at his best and in these conditions. So it's not a bad decision. It's just that I don't think he's controlling his length perfectly.
Oh, that's a thick edge, and it's gone past Zak Crawley at slip. It was along the ground. It wasn't a chance, but it was a much quicker, flatter delivery from Root. Trying, I think it looked like he was bowling for the edge, and he found it, but it's a couple of runs.
Unlucky for Root that he wasn't at slip to stop that for himself. Yeah, I think you're right. Trying to slide it across, and that's what he's looking for, is that combination of occasionally sliding it across, and then if he can get one or two to stop and rip back, and with that low arm action, because there's no point in bowling.
This one pushed away again behind square on the offside. Nobody there. They'll go through for one as Crawley runs after it after slip. The target now down to 31.
There's no point in him bowling with a high arm action because they got Bashir for that job anyway, so he can come in and he can experiment a little bit. But because he's looked stiff, Harmy, I just think he struggled to keep his length in this test.
And I also think this might just be for one over. Just change the height, the trajectory of the way the ball's coming out from a off spinner's point of view.
Root in again. Forward comes Shubman Gill, pushes it to Stokes. He's in close catching. He's right in the thick of the action, this time on the leg side.
It's an off spinner, but it's a different type of off spinner. And maybe Ben Stokes is thinking, right, if we give Joe Root 12 balls and then get Bashir back on. But now if this goes for a single, you're looking at 6 off and over. Can you give him another one?
31 to win. Here's Joe Root, and he's over the wicket now, and that's defended by Shubman Gill. 35 he remains. Jurel 25. India 161 for 5. They were 120 for 5. So 41 they've added, 31 required. And it's interesting. I mean, Shubman Gill's a very fit athlete. New generation of Indian cricketers, and he hasn't been running a great deal, but he was panting. Between overs he was panting.
Yeah, and I think that's nerves. I think
tension.
It's nerves, it's tension, it's the energy that you have, and you're potentially winning a test match for your country. And talk about his average, there's a lot of talk about his place in the side and his average. If he goes on and to win this game for India and sees it through, what a huge confidence booster from a selector's point of view and for Shubman Gill's point of view and his career going forward. Could be this the coming of or the defining moment, even if he only gets 45, 50?
Here is Shoaib Bashir continuing, and it's just short enough to allow Jurel onto the back foot, whipping it away with the spin out to Johnny Bairstow at deep mid-wicket.
So in this test so far, overs 1 to 40, 20 wickets, been taken an average of 26, 3.3 runs an over, and a wicket every 48 balls. Overs 40 to 80, 9 wickets, an average of 24. So the average is actually lower afterwards, but an economy of 2.2.
Bashir in, and Gill using his feet half a step down the pitch. He cries of catch it, hit him on the pad, no run.
And a wicket every 67 balls. So it does show you that it's not exactly easy to bat later on because they take away all your runs, but it's harder to be dismissed.
Down the wicket comes Shubman Gill, drives Shoaib Bashir down to long on, but Ben Duckett is probably the quickest in the England field, and he only had to move 10-15 yards to his left, so it's only a single, 29 to win.
Just last, over and a half, just scoring just a little bit easier, putting a little bit of pressure back on England. Good cricket.
Yeah, it's to the point where you're thinking, right, we're not home and sit at home, by any stretch, but a big shot.
Bashir in again to Jurel on the back foot, defends.
A big shot, 2 big shots, a 6 and a 4, and then that is probably game over. So who blinks first? Who's going to take the punt? Is it going to be Jurel? Is it going to be Gill? I thought it might have been Jurel rather than Gill. Gill bat through and Jurel maybe take a risk.
Bashir in, down the leg side, spins, bounces. Beautifully taken by Ben Foakes. And Jurel not interested in playing a shot at that one, can only get into a tangle. And trying to flick that one away. Turn and bounce and a pace delivery from that high action. Beautifully taken by Ben Foakes, who would have been unsighted for the second half of the flight of that delivery. 163 for 5. Bashir, slow one, well bowled, nicely played by Dhruv Jurel. He seems to have everything. He really does seem to be the most organised player against pace and spin alike. 163 for 5. Shubman Gill 36. Dhruv Jurel has 26. India were 120 for 5 when Shoaib Bashir took 2 wickets in 2 balls shortly after lunch. Lunch taken at 118 for 3. 2 runs later, Ravindra Jadeja chipped a low dipping full toss to Johnny Bairstow at mid-wicket to depart for 4 from 33 balls, Ravindra Jadeja. And then next ball, Sarfaraz Khan inside edged Bashir delivery onto his pad, and Ollie Pope took the catch. First ball duck. India had gone to 120 for 5. Now 163 for 5, 29 runs to win. Steve Harmison and I are going off for a soothing cup of tea, and Alex Tudor is taking Harmy's place, and Macca will take over from me after a word from.
Would you like me to speak, Manners?
Yes, I would.
It is radio, isn't it? Although, hello YouTube as well. The camera's there, Tudes. No, it's still tense, but it's only 29 runs at the moment. The pitch has certainly slowed down. The ball's got a little bit more soft. I think it's worth India taking just a couple of risks. That last over and a half, or 2 overs now, I suppose, where they've got a few more runs. It's worth one of these batters trying to hit a boundary, I think, and then allowing probably Gill to stay with him. Even one extra boundary will put pressure on England at this stage, Judes.
Yeah, 100%. Morning again, everybody. You've just joined us. It's been a decent day so far. A lot of excitement, just died down a little bit. 2 young players, Gill and Jarrell, just settling the nerves that there would have been in that Indian change room when the 5th wicket went down. And England were buoyant, and there was an expectancy, but they've just quieted that down a little bit. 29 runs to win. England be hoping in Ben Stokes that they can get a couple. Always that old adage, if you just add 2, so all of a sudden if they're 165 for 7 or so, it's a different outlet.
Add 4.
Well, yes, they would like to add 4, but add 2, and then you have that lower order in, and if you add 2 and Ashwin's out as well, then you just got the bowlers really, and anything can happen. I still feel there's a twist in this game, Macca.
Well, let's hope so. It's drinks at the moment. That's the long pause. So we're an hour after the lunch break. Got an hour till tea. Don't think we'll get to tea, one way or the other. Got a funny feeling this may well be it. Right then. Players are back in their positions. And here we go then. Tom Hartley to bowl his 22nd over. Shubman Gill on strike. He's got 36 from 105. So there's the answer to our question about Joe Root getting a second over. Hartley's on. Jarrell, 26 from 54. 29 for victory for India. 5 wickets for England. Hartley will start the over, bowling to Shubman Gill in his cap, and he plays defensively, no run. 1 more wicket would get the English adrenaline going again. Shubman Gill's just saying to himself, come on, he can lip reading. Hartley left arm around, solidly forward is Shubman Gill playing defensively, no run.
Very good, buddy. Brilliant, mate. Real good, fella. Stop right there, bud.
Hartley's on his 22nd over, 1 for 58. Bashir has bowled 23 in this innings. Hartley goes in, bringing Gill forward. Again, it's just a huge forward defensive, saying get past this to Hartley, and it hits the middle of the bat, no run.
He looked calm and assured, doesn't he, Shubman Gill? He's faced a lot of balls. He's 36 not out, trying to take his team home.
Hartley, left arm around, gives that one a little bit of air, pushes into the onside and will take a single. Hartley's the man who's going to have to go after that himself and field it. Has to avoid the non-striker. Jarrell, single taken, 28 to win for India. An India win clinches the series. They're 2-1 up. This is the 4th with 1 to play. England, if they want to win this series, have to find a way of taking these 5 wickets. Hartley is in once again, left arm around. Jarrell solidly forward. playing defensively, no run. Durrell settles over his bat and waits for Hartley to begin the approach for the final ball of the over. That one keeps down a little bit. Durrell chops down into the offside. They will take a single. 165 for 5 at the end of the 55th over. India on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel and here on TalkSport 2. India need 27 to win. Alex Tudor.
There's going to be a little bit of a selection issue for India, especially with Durrell. I mean, I've been so impressed with the young man. Obviously, you got KL Rahul, the great Rohit, Virat Kohli to come back. He's got to be in contention for me. He's looked assured. He's not looked phased at all. He's got shots, looks composed at the crease, great balance, shot selection. Just another one off their conveyor belt, isn't he?
Well, don't forget Rishabh Pant is now back and doing stuff again.
Yeah,
It'll be a while, but
great to see him in footage back in indoor nets.
Bashir to start the new over. Outside of Durrell's off stump. Durrell is covering up, no run. It did keep a little bit lower than potentially they were expecting, which is why the ooze from around the bat. Bashir in at the angle, bowls right arm over. Again, he's bringing the off stump into play. Durrell covering up, no run. Just felt a little bit that Bashir was occasionally too short when we were watching outside Tudes. Got to be an element of tiredness, absolutely, in this test match. Bashir goes in, uses his feet, does Durrell and gets it back past the bowler, but not for a boundary. Duckett does brilliantly, keeps it on the playing surface. And it'll be 2. So it's 25 to win for India, 167 for 5. But Durrell used his feet. It was aerial for about half the length of the pitch. Bashir not able to stop it in his follow through. Duckett did stop it down at long on.
Used everything there. Hand onto face. Stop 2. Every run precious.
Bashir in again. Off leg stump, Durrell is turning it on the onside. Pope will go back from under the helmet and collect that ball. No run. Still 25 to win for India.
Yeah, I think the ball hit him in the nose, didn't it? It's like one of those stingers. You can see he was trying to flare his nostrils afterwards.
Yeah, a lot of nerve endings in there. Bashir in, using his feet again is Durrell. Bashir can't get it in his follow through, so it'll be to Duckett again. Single only on this occasion. And India continue on their way with another run. And Durrell and Shubman Gill have done a really, really good job. Coming together at 120 for 5. Now 168 for 5. So the partnership has been 48 runs. It's taken them 17 and a half overs. The overs don't matter. Just occupy the crease. Right, final ball of the over then. Gill on strike. England making him wait. And now Bashir goes in. Shubman Gill uses his feet but only plays it defensively. Back to the bowler. End of the over. 168 for 5 here on TalkSport 2. India 24 away from victory. England 5 wickets.
Yeah, and as you say, Mackie, you know, there's got to be a little bit of tiredness creeping into young Bashir. He wouldn't have done this too many times, if at all, under this extreme pressure. With the series on the line still. You know, captain asking a lot of him. But he stood up to the challenge extremely well. He's been impressive, definitely a tick from this tour. The young man, just hoping that when he gets back to Somerset, he gets some bowling.
Right then, Tom Hartley. Left arm around the wicket with his spin. Durrell deep in the crease, plays to Stokes at short extra cover, no run. Bashir bowled 44 overs in the first innings. He's bowled 24 in the second. Probably a tired old boy come the end of this one. Hartley comes in once again around the wicket. Durrell is staying leg side of the ball, guides it out to deep point where Dan Lawrence is fielding. The 12th man on for James Anderson. Not had any word as to why Jimmy's off. And he's not bowling, but he's still such a good fielder, as we saw with the catch earlier to dismiss Jaiswal. Man who got it all going. James Anderson with an absolute cracker of a catch at deep point. Got it going. Ollie Pope's weighed in with a couple of spectacular ones himself. Hartley comes in, bowls. Gill defends back to the bowler, no run. Yeah, all the wickets so far have been caught. If we say that Rohit was caught as well as stumped, as he got a nick on it, so it's been a fielding performance as well as a bowling one from England. Hartley is in. Oh, that's an outside edge from Gill. The bat coming down from sort of gully to mid-wicket. He gets the outside edge on it and it runs away to backward point, no run.
Yeah, I just think it just needs to be a little bit fuller. It's hit one of those cracks. Just look to play it on the leg side. Had to readjust.
Hartley in once again, bringing Gill forward. He is a bit fuller on that occasion. It's pushed to Stokes at straight mid-on, no run. Single from the over. 5 balls bowled so far to finish the over off then. England trying to put pressure on. Hartley around the wicket. Well, push bat and pad close together, and it's off the face of the bat to where a silly point would have been, but there is no silly point. Ends the over. India still need 23. They're 169 for 5 here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, you still sort of have that belief as that starts to tick down those runs required. Indian fans starting to make a little bit more noise. This partnership between Gill and Jarrell have just settled the nerves, if there were any in that Indian changing room. They've looked composed. No real stress, no real pressure. Well, say no pressure, there's extreme pressure. They've just settled the nerves really well. Just gone about their business. Taking the singles when they're there. Not many boundaries on offer. But it doesn't need to be. So much time left in the game. And it's always going to be, especially for the England fans and for people in the media, the what-ifs. That third innings, that England third innings, if just another 50 runs, could have been a lot different.
Bashir then to start a new over. Bat and pad close together from Jarrell. He's hit outside the line of off stump. That's why England strangled the appeal. No run.
This is now the most balls in a professional cricket match that Shoaib Bashir has bowled. But to be fair, he had actually bowled 68 overs in a game before this for Hampshire against Hampshire at Taunton. So 68.1. He's only 8 games into his career. He's done some spells.
Bashir is in. This is off of the thigh pad of Jarrell to Ollie Pope at short leg, no run.
49 overs, 68 overs, 49 overs, 53 overs and 68 in his 8 games so far.
Okay.
Chudes used to bowl that many in a season. In fact, he bowled that many no balls.
Oh, easy.
Bashir, 3 for 65, goes in, brings Jarrell forward. Thinking of a single, there isn't one there. Stokes is loitering, and therefore there is no run. 23 to win for India, 5 wickets for England.
So you say it's a 6-3 field,
yes.
Is it? Fielders on the leg side?
Bashir goes in, inside half of Jarrell's bat, squirts out on the leg side, no run. Yeah, they're basically wanting to say, well, look, it's entirely open if you want to go inside out and go against the spin and take on the cracks. But at the moment, Jarrell is just happy to turn it into the leg side and bat time. He's 31 not out from 67 balls. Bashir is in. That one is up near the stickers, but it drops down at his toes, and Ollie Pope will pick it up at short leg. No run. Jarrell 31 from 68. Gill 37 from 114. So getting on for double the amount of balls faced, Shubman Gill, but he's done a job. Bashir's got 1 ball left in this over. In he goes. It's played off of the back foot by Jarrell to Bashir. Picks up in his follow-through, and that will do the over. A maiden, so it's still 23 to win for India here on TalkSport 2, or 5 wickets for England.
Jimmy Anderson is reportedly off the field with a tightness in his leg. I mean, at his age, he's probably going to have that every day. You probably had that every day of your career anyway if you're a fast bowler, don't you?
I was a little worried when I saw him run into the boundary and diving, especially on that outfield. It's quite sand-based. I wasn't keen, but he was committed, obviously, and then that catch was phenomenal. So he's most probably feeling it. He's 41-year-old legs, bless him.
So Courtney Walsh bowled about an extra 30,000 balls in professional cricket than Jimmy Anderson. Didn't do a lot of diving, though, Courtney Walsh.
Now, the size 15s would have come down on the old fine leg boundary. I mean, Mark Lane always talks about it. Once Courtney got the ball in his hand, it was very difficult to get the ball out of it. I mean, he was phenomenal for them.
Hartley to start a new over around the wicket. Shubman Gill gets one that keeps down a little bit, turns it safely enough to mid-wicket, no run.
And you think as a fast bowler, he had a lot of, not say luck, but you can't think of real serious injuries he had during his career. He just bowled and bowled and bowled.
Hartley in, around the wicket, clipped in the air to where Ollie Pope has been stationed at short leg, but he's not there anymore. No wicket, no run.
Crickfizz has just had something through that's quite interesting about this game, but it's not great news if you're an England fan. But if you're watching on YouTube and you're not an English fan,
in that case, keep quiet then. Hartley, left arm around, leg stumpish, turned on the onside. Stokes will field no run.
In this test, the first 5 wickets have been averaging 29.73, and the last 5 wickets have been averaging 30.66. A lot of that is soft ball related and game situation and everything else, but that's not normal. That's quite an abnormal thing to have happen.
23 to win for India. Shubman Gill is on strike. India 169 for 5. England are just now having a long conversation. Captain and vice-captain, Pope and Stokes. And whatever the conversation was has resulted in Ollie Pope going back under the helmet. Well, I just said that ball had got turned through where Ollie Pope was. I hope that's not a stable door and horse's job, but Ollie Pope is getting the helmet back on. 23 to win for India then. Shubman Gill is facing Hartley. Hartley goes in and bowls. It's clipped to long off, and a single will be taken. Duckett will do the retrieving. 22 to win now for India. 169 becomes 170 for 5.
Yeah, so we're just drifting along at the minute, isn't it? 22 runs to win. To win the series and go to a 3-1 unsaleable lead.
Hartley, left arm around, almost a return catch off the leading edge. Jurel is looking to turn that to mid-wicket. It was a leading edge that just went 2 metres to the left of Hartley in his follow-through, and they're able to take a single. 21 to win, 171 for 5.
If the luck was going for you, that would go to hand, wouldn't it? It's just evading Hartley on the follow-through there. It's not quite happening for England.
Hartley to finish the over. Gill defends. In fact, it's a push drive down to Duckett at long off, and they will take a single. It's down to 20 required. 172 for 5 here on TalkSport 2.
When do you bring long off and long on up, Alex Tudor?
I would have done it a while back, to be fair, but that's me. I've never been a captain, so. But I just think sometimes
you have 8 guys around the bat.
You just got to take a risk sometimes. I think, you know, the single for players that are sort of in, they face a lot of balls, a little bit too easy. I know they're trying to stop the boundaries. Well, I think risk and reward at this stage, you just never know. And the way that England play their cricket, I would have thought he especially did that with Jack Leach, didn't he, when he first took helm, Ben Stokes. He had that man up for Jack Leach, didn't he, saying, right, go on, if they want to go, go. Just think sometimes it's just too easy for good players that are in. Bring them up. You never know.
Bashir to start a new over. Shubman Gill's going to use his feet, come down the pitch and launches in for 6. 178 for 5. India are 14 away from victory.
He's up there, but to be fair, he was up for the last over as well. But Shubman Gill probably thinking the same way that we're thinking at the moment, which is the ball's a little bit soft and 1 or 2 boundaries here could just break this open. That did disturb the surface, but he got to the pitch of it. It was beautiful footwork, and he smashed that back down the ground.
He's done that with ease. Anyone's seen him play in the IPL, he does that on a regular. No, this has been slightly different.
Bashir's response as he comes in and bowls. Gill again threatens to use his feet, but just plays it defensively, no run.
So what's really interesting about him is, in first-class cricket, he's a better player in the second innings than he is in the first innings, considering he's such a good whiteboard player when the pitches are flat. So in Test cricket, he's much better, and first-class cricket, he's much better when there's something going on in the wicket than when it's flat.
Bashir is in again. Shubman Gill takes him onto the leg side and clears Bairstow, and it's 6 more. It's down to single figures. It's 50 for Shubman Gill. It's 51 from 122 balls, and India need 8 to win the Test and the series.
Yeah, he's flicked a switch. Shubman Gill said, I've seen enough now. India 184 for 5. 8 to win. 12 off the first 3 Bashir deliveries. Couple of shots away from a series win.
Come on, England, it's now or never. Bashir in, right arm over. Shubman Gill half a step down, just plays defensively, no run. If you're about to head out on the school run, I'm sorry kids, the wheels may not be on the bus today. It's TalkSport 2 on the app, on the DAB radio, on the smart speaker. Well, England need to find a couple of wickets now. Bashir is in. Shubman Gill clips easily to long on. He takes a single. It's down to 7 needed. And Ben Stokes has been a miracle man of English cricket for the last few years. He needs to pull something out of somewhere. India were big favourites to go on and win this. It looks like they will, but they've had to scrap. And that's all that you can ask. England gave it everything that they've had. It looks like it'll be not quite enough, but geez, they've given it a go.
Yeah, they have. Can't fault them for effort. As I said, the inquest will come after the game. Looking back at that third innings, which creates a problem for a few teams.
Final ball of Bashir's over. Jurel is using his feet. Gets it through Stokes. Stokes is furious with himself. He's punching the ground as the single is taken. So it's down to 1 shot. 6 runs for India to win. And England still need those 5 wickets. End of the 60th over here on TalkSport 2. India 186 for 5.
Yeah, it's been a great effort, especially this morning. Yesterday, the way India came out, England didn't bowl too well. They got to 40 very quickly. Jaiswal and the captain Rohit Sharma showed the intent. So you think it was a foregone conclusion coming here this morning, but England have given it everything. Hartley, young Bashir, they've tried valiantly. It's just not going to be quite enough. Jurel and Gill been good.
Well, it is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inside the ring. And if Jurel wants to go down and do it in the grand manner, then it's fair play to him. Pokes under the helmet. Tom Hartley to bowl the 61st over. In he goes. Tries to force it off of the back foot through mid-on is Jurel. Doesn't time it. Fielded by Stokes, no run. Short extra cover. Extra cover as well. Short ball. Jurel pulls into the leg side. It was aerial for a while, but it finds the gap and it goes for 4. India need 2. For a moment, we thought that was it.
Thought it quite hit high on the bat, but he got enough on it. Cleared the infielder. Jurel jumping on the back foot, short in length from Hartley. And they're 1 shot away from a series win.
Right, Ollie Pope has taken the helmet off and is going to what looks like a fly slip position. Jarrell on strike, Hartley left arm around. It is Jarrell just defending into the offside. No run. Jarrell's 37 from 73. Shubman Gill, 52 from 124 balls. India set 192 to win this game after England were 145 all out in their second innings. Hartley in. Jarrell defends. No run. Shots of the dressing room, Indian dressing room. Kuldeep's the next man in. The coach has got his arm round him, just trying to keep him calm just in case. Hartley around the wicket. Jarrell plays on the leg side. Bairstow will field at mid-wicket, no run. Yeah, penny for Ashwin and Kuldeep's thoughts right now.
I wondered if they might have sent Kuldeep in just because this suits his batting. And Ashwin's just like, no, I still want to go in.
Hartley round the wicket, it's leg side-ish. Jarrell turns it through square leg. Bairstow will go after it. They turn after taking one, come back for the second, and India win the fourth Test match of the series by 5 wickets. They go 3-1 up to take the series with 1 to spare. It was a hugely valiant effort by England. 192 was not an easy target on this particular pitch or any pitch in India in the 4th innings. But India got off to a solid start with 55 from Rohit and 37 from Jaiswal. That enabled them to have that little wobble in the middle order as Patidar and Sarfraz made ducks and Jadeja only 4. But they've been seen home by Jarrell, by Shubman Gill, and it's India that are victorious by 5 wickets in the end. Alex Tudor.
Yeah, congrats to Rohit Sharma and his team. They've been quite brilliant. They needed a fight back, and they got one with their world-class bowler in Ashwin, who brought them back into this game. And in the end, they won the series. Shubman Gill and Jarrell, who's been so impressive with the bat and what we've seen, just to calm the nerves when England were jubilant, thinking that they had a sniff of victory. They just settled everything down and batted quite beautifully. And just at the end, with about 20 to win, they just stepped on the gas, couple of blows, took them over the line. And well-deserved 3-1 series win. The inquest will start. The way England went about their second innings, for me, if they could just hung around a little bit longer, and just a few shot selections for me weren't quite right. Give India a sniff and a chance, and they took it. And when you've got world-class players at your disposal, Rohit Sharma, the young man Jaiswal, who's going to be an absolute superstar in this game in all formats for me, and Ravi Ashwin, you don't get 500 Test wickets and not know what you're doing. He's a world-class performer. He's a street fighter, and his team needed it, and he stuck his hand up. And basically, for me, that spell has won them the game.
Well, on yesterday evening's Following On podcast, we brought you the interview with Ashwin, and the Indian interviewers, Ravi Shastri and Sunil Gavaskar, were basically taking it as read that India were going to win this. And we said, hang on a minute, whoa. There's still plenty of cricket left in this one. England have given it a fight. They've given it a real fight. And that's all we can ask of them. You can come up short, that's fine. You know, every team gets beaten. You know, it's what happens in life. It's the way you go about your business. It's the way you go about it. England gave this a right old go. That's all we could ask of them.
100%. You can't fault them for effort. Effort was top draw. And you're asking 2 young bowlers, 2 young spinners who've not played a lot of red ball cricket to go out and win you a game. And they tried. Bashir, 5 in the first innings, 3 in the second. 8 in the match. Hartley got better, especially today. Wasn't great last night. Bowling with that new ball, bowled a lot of full tosses that got dispatched by Rohit Sharma and Jaiswal, but he was better today. The grouping was better. They had a little bit of a sniff. But as you said, their heads never went down, and it won't under Ben Stokes. As captain, he won't allow it. And they believed. As you said, you had 2 young guys in Shubman Gill and Jarrell, who's been very impressive. Just the way he goes about it, quite calm, assured, balanced at the crease, got a lot of shots. He looks like an absolute find for me in the future, as they always do. The conveyor belt of Indian batters keep coming. And to be fair, a deserved win. They're world-class player. He stood up when was needed and won in the game. And that's Ravi Ashwin.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know who's going to get player of the match, but I'm pretty sure Ashwin has got to be top of the list of contenders. It was a pretty even contest, if we're honest, through the first innings. England batting first, making 3-5-3. Joe Root's fantastic 122 not out, of course. India replying with 307. Bashir taking 5 for 119. But Ashwin's 5 for 51 in that England second innings to make it 145 all out in just under 54 overs. That's basically been the determining factor in this game. So I would imagine Ashwin will get player of the match. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Steve Harmison's joined. Who do you reckon? If you were picking,
Jarrell for me. I think when you look at Ashwin, to be fair, Ashwin's 5 for was the one that got India in a position that they think they can still win the game. But Jarrell's 90 in that first innings, really came in when they were under a little bit of pressure. What he come in at 160 for 5. Jaiswal had just getting out, so Jaiswal 73 when the top order didn't really fire. Jarrell held it together with Kuldeep, got them in a position when 307, they were 120 behind, 140 behind at one point. So for me, Jarrell got them into that position, and then when he walks out to bat tonight, 120 for 5. England's game, it's on. England, we're dreaming, and he gets a nice little 39 not out along with Shubman Gill. So for me, I think Ashwin was the changer to get them in a position to win the game. But I actually think Jarrell's both impacts with the bat, I think has just tipped the balance for me to why he's player of the match.